Hello and welcome to the beginning of the video, even though this is just taking place after the end of the video. Ooh, spooky time parrot. Alright, that was pretty good. Right, the new rule is that if you want to see a specific class, I will timestamp when we start talking about said class. So in the description you will see 0, 0, well not 0, 0, but let's say 1 minute and 30 for Scout, and 4 minutes and something for Soldier, or whatever the timestamps happen to be. It's going to be a lot longer than 4 minutes because we talk for fucking yonks. So if you're looking for a specific class, go to the description and find it. I hope that's useful. Thanks and have fun. Welcome to Scout. Da-da. Na-na-na-na-na. Welcome to Jurassic Badwater, except not really. A golden opportunity. When did you name that?
Thanks,
I named it when I got the thing from the Christmas thing.
Oh, okay. Cool. Alright, we're doing the Badwater thingy maybe, I don't know.
Yes.
Alright. Let's discuss the Scout.
Yeah.
Do you want to go in on this? Because I play about as much Scout as you do. By that,
I can
probably
do.
play more.
Yeah. I'll just go back and get myself a Scout on. Right.
You mainly run through tunnel, don't you?
Yeah, it's right. So if you come with me,
Hmm?
if you're going to come with me, or are you going to stand still? Okay. So
1 sec.
basically, okay, I'm holding.
Professionalism. There you go.
Okay, so basically it's the same method of which I will talk to you about Spy.
That's basically
Spies
obviously and all
generally
that sort
just
of thing as well.
come through from this end, and then you can just dart your way into this area, and once you're down this area,
Tunnel.
you've basically left obviously the main front area, so they're dealing with that, and this gives you a perfect opportunity to come around here. Be careful just before you go out, because sometimes a sentry can be placed really far off the edge, which can obviously devastate you if you're trying to run, but you can do it sometimes.
If
it takes a
it's
lot.
in the usual spot, you can see it by sort of looking up out of tunnel without it shooting you. You can see the angle of the gun sort of rotating.
But much for saying as Spy as well, once you get around here, you're in yourself, you know, a good location for backstabbing or just getting up behind and shooting. Usually snipers will be around about this distance. Generally if they're on defense, they'll be around. If there is a sentry up, don't bother obviously, because otherwise you get yourself pummeled in. Just try and... You can even, like, at this point, it gives you a good leading to go to their spawn. It's going to take a while to get around, obviously, but once you get yourself around, you can get rid of the teleporters. And be a big nuisance that Scout generally is.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Yeah. Anything else, Chuck, to add to Scout?
Get rid of teleporters. That's something you can do if there's a sentry up and the engineer's stubborn and doesn't want to move.
Yeah.
Bring bonk if you need to, if there's too many. Some people will build underneath. Turn around. Go to first and then the little lower area.
This down here?
Yeah. Engineers will build underneath there sometimes, and that can be incredibly difficult to do anything about if you're a scout. And on top of this thing as well.
And top of that, yeah.
Yeah. The usual spot is the upper right though.
This part here.
Scouts. First point, if there's a sentry up, you can't really do all that much. You can bonk, try and get the engineer to suicide if possible by running behind the sentry gun, but that's not something I do all that often. I've done it in a couple of times in the last few matches just because the sentries have been in close spaces. I did it earlier tonight as an engineer, ran up behind someone and blew them up with a sentry for the lulz. Because I wasn't really trying.
Source and all that. But, yeah.
Yeah, scouts.
Just,
You're quite limited on first.
Yeah.
Shall we do point by point as each class and then... Yeah, we'll mix it up. You go to second.
Okay, second. So this area here, so once obviously you've gotten to the point where you've capped out this area, the gate opens here, which obviously it hasn't because we would have to do the thing.
You can no-clip.
Oh yeah, I can, can't I?
You can.
No-clip, there we go. So if I come through and into here, this whole area opens up, all these doors and such open up. If we talk around the back area, so this area here, it's a great place to obviously get some health. Not many people use it. I don't think a lot of people use it in comp. It's more of just a back alley.
It gets more use in comp than you'd be surprised because it can get a line of sight on the sentry gun on roof.
Okay, yeah, so if we come out into here, this area is obviously known as roof because it's the roof area of this zone, and this is very important because the catch point is literally right down below, so red will build on here, lots of sentries will go here. So this is a perfect area for engineers to shine to defend this area because it's obviously very important to get to the cap point. But generally as well, you want to come through around the roof area because over here you've got a lot of ground to play on, not only just by running around, but you've also got a load of jumping area, jump onto the boxes and get to areas. Just be mindful of sentries are likely to be in this designated zone.
I generally build a teleporter on the back of or the top of the, if you're a sneaky scout and you know not many people are going to be coming up the left stairs, or you know that teleporter's so sort of useful because your team's got the cart track locked down, but they can't get down the track enough to sort of lock it down fully.
Yeah.
You take out that teleporter, you've cut off their supply routes from there, because anybody crossing the cart track sniper line is submitted to walls of demo spam / snipers.
Down this area here, like, obviously you will know if there's a sentry on the roof, because obviously you'd be pushing
You'll
the cart
hear
down
it,
this
or your
way.
teammate will walk into it.
But, you know, generally down this way, there's not many sentries that are put anywhere. Sometimes you might see them here. I mean, obviously there used to be the whole exploit that you could put it on here, remember?
No,
that,
it was
back in
higher
the
up
olden
than
days. Was it higher up?
Yeah, it was on this roof.
Oh, back in the olden days then. But, you know, once you've got this point, you know, this whole back area that people be, like, scampering about, trying to get to places like if Red are trying to do a retreat, you'll be able to get rid of them, because the sentries will not generally be placed until they're up here. So you've got
Unless you have the common engineer that always likes to build on last / second while first gets completely capped. But that's
also another thing about Scout. Just be careful, because I've had many engineers build a teleporter here and secretly, you know, being able to get behind your lines because you're not dealt with this area that much, and that's, I suppose, generally why quite good in comp, I suppose.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
No, I don't do ninja tellies on offense. It's kind of well. I've run past and got the teleporter into the third house before the enemy team know.
Yeah.
Sort of. Okay. I've done that once before. Anyway, carry
on. But also remember this health kit. There is a health kit right here. There are two small ones on either side of the roof, but this is very, very important.
You are the fastest class in the game, and no one ever comes to this health kit.
Exactly. It's very, very vital, because it's a medium, and you know.
Well, third fastest class if you want to be.
Yeah.
We're not talking demos jumping with 6 stickies in a row and soldiers pogoing across half the map.
Yeah. So do remember that health kit. That's generally second at this point. Shall we move on? Yeah.
Yeah, just don't go in the middle where the cart is unless you know it's pretty clear, because you are fodder.
Yes.
Well, Jesus Christ!
Sorry,
make everybody throw
up.
But yeah, the cart track, unless you're dedicated to pushing in such a way that you know your team's sort of got most of the ground here, there's not much point you going on the cart, like I said.
Yeah.
Because you will be caught in the line of fire of snipers, demos, soldiers, pyros, anybody who likes to decide, or a heavy even, just running down the cart track. Let your team clear it out, you flank. Do what you do best, flank. Alright.
That's what you do. Okay, so you've now capped this point. Now this area, open up, and this area, which is where the red team usually come out, will be locked down. So it's the second point could be kind of hard, because obviously it's very, very close to where they're going to be spewing out from generally.
Which is why cutting off the cart track area means if you can get rid of the teleporter on the roof, they have no reinforcements.
Yeah, exactly. So getting the roof is very vital in comp, or any just pubs in general. Anyway, usually this area here is very, very a good area to go through, because obviously again it's a flanking point. It's as it's comp called, boiler, I suppose. That's a boiler, really.
That's a boiler. Well,
a boiler.
They call it that, not me.
Inspector. No, okay, whatever.
Hold on, never mind then.
Yeah. But come through in this area, and then you've got obviously this back area here, which is it's quite
I don't know what it's called.
Area compared to obviously the whole areas, but at this point, you know, you can, as a scout, you can double jump into here.
You can demonstrate if you come out of no clip.
Well, I'm not going to, because obviously no clip's faster to do.
Oh right, yeah, I've got mine.
Yeah. So there's a health kit here, which is, you know, health kits. Hooray. Usually, like, if you manage to flank quick enough, usually there'll be some people that have been like here.
This becomes house as far as I know.
Yeah. Yeah, usually want to just come around and just take them out, because then they have nowhere to retreat. You know, you block them in. And I have so many times that I've been blocked in by someone because they, you know, nowhere else to go apart from front. And obviously our team's coming down this general area because the cart goes through here and upwards. This area here, not many people do it in pubs, but obviously this is the comp area, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the comp level 3 spot, and you do need a level 3 in there, because level 2s will not shoot out of the window particularly well.
So,
and it does require Wrangler. I've never done very well.
So I'm not going to brush onto this, because obviously this is Chuck's time to shine about it. But this
I've covered it already in Engie guides.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to get out. Obviously you can go up here, but once you go through here, he'll see you straight away.
You'll need bonk if you're going to get around there.
Bonk, anything, you know, just it's going to be quite difficult. But obviously as a scout, you know, flanking is vital. But obviously you want to stick with your team at this point, you know, because it's a very short push. Like it's not that far away, and even on the map.
And Red's spawn is you're probably about equal distance. Well, no, you're not. It's a long run, but
yeah, it's a long run. But as long as your engineers have now got this area, they can start putting up teleporters. Usually around here, they'll put teleporters. So you know, not much
top left for me by the small and the small.
Yeah,
because that's out of the way.
Yeah, but so it's not that bad. So at this point, it's just getting the car as quickly as possible and not letting them, you know, set themselves up ready. Because I've had
the more time they have to prepare on third, the worse it gets generally.
Sentries can be here as well. Sentries obviously in comp. Yeah, but it's
the main one you want to point out is the roof to your up on there.
Up here, yeah.
Now to your right. No, to your left. Down below. And then on the roof of that. You know when you go into map room up there.
Oh, here.
Yeah, that's
okay.
somewhat common.
I'll get onto that.
Okay,
obviously.
Counts as 4.
So we'll go on to the last point, isn't it?
Last or fourth, whatever you prefer.
So last point, you've now got this. This is your respawn area, which would be, you know, a lot less easy. It would be a lot easier to get to now. It's about an easy run through. At this point here is usually if it's getting a bit choky, and this is where you'll generally be sort of standing, because usually defenses will go up here, teleports will go up here, and pubs, that's generally how it goes. Sometimes they'll be up here. I don't know how well this is used for last point, but I hear it's very good for obviously setting up teleporters.
It's fine to build a teleporter up there, but you do have to worry of soldiers jumping up.
Alright,
but some people put a sentry gun up there, won't they? As an offensive one.
Also just remember this area opens up as well, which is
map room.
It's map room, but it's alright for snipers because it gives you a good detail of where the last point is, which is this area. But this area will be, usually if it's a pub, obviously it will be chock-a-block with either sentries over here. Most of the time sentries over here as well. Sentries can be over here. And
that's where I'll rotate. You don't see him there often, but that's where I rotate to generally.
Yeah. So this area can be kind of deadly last zone. Don't go in it as generally scout. You want to stay clear. Usually you want to go up this way, flanking area, because this is the tires. Yeah.
Tires plural.
So this is quite a vital area to get through, because obviously with scout you can easily double jump yourself up onto here
and harass and pick
down and harass, pick, do what you want.
Just be wary of the sentry guns because they will lock onto you.
Yeah, they'll lock on you quick as might as all hell. But this area here is usually like where conflicts meet. Especially if you've just captured the point. This is where conflict generally meets, or if it's over here. You know, this whole area leading up until it gets like the hill. Because if you've usually got like the player card around about here, it means that your team's pushing pretty hard and they generally destroy a lot. If it's, you know, sitting just here, then you've got into a bit of a pickle.
One of the brief things I'll mention is that when you get on that ramp area, if you can get a demo man spamming up onto their cart track towards them, it becomes very hard to push that corner unless they've got tires like you previously mentioned.
Yeah, so obviously if the demo man is going to be like shooting down this area, then this area here is going to get a massive, good thing to get, because obviously you can go around behind them and...
Map room will be covered by the sentry generally, so you end up with one route to go, and that's where you just mentioned. So.
Be wary, snipers generally are over here, this area, or usually over here.
Can you get on the little balcony area in map room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god. Gosh, Jesus.
No clip matter.
Okay.
I think you can with an atomizer, can't you? Or force a nature jump. I don't know about without.
Soda popper. I don't know anything.
Yeah, soda popper. Any of those three.
Because here's soda popper's very good and competitive as well.
It's niche because it's got very low damage output comparatively.
But it's good for like tricking your opponents into thinking where you're going to go and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you don't see it all that often. But...
So you can get up to here if you use the items, but so obviously once you get here, you can get the snipers. It's pretty decent, but scouts, it's simple. Flank behind, shooty, magoo, run fast, but you're going to get easily killed by sentry guns. So just watch yourself. But yeah, let's move on, shall we? Quickly.
Defense works in the exact, defense. If you want to play scout on defense, it works in the exact same way, except in reverse, minus the mini sentries. At which point you just give up.
Yeah, you want to kill yourself.
I will take soldier.
Oh really? I had no idea.
Oh,
I'll take soldier, obviously.
Should I go scout as soldier, or should I actually play the class? Probably should
just go soldier and then no clip.
Good idea. Fast time. Right. First point soldier. There's options out the WAS here, depending on what kind of soldier you are. If you can rocket jump decently, you can do a star and just go along this wall and end up at their spawn, completely avoiding their entire team and getting behind them and harassing and being annoying in general. As you fly over these rocks, you pick the sniper who's standing inevitably there. The main thing to watch out is on this point, to start off with the Ubers and the crits and all that assorted bollocks. You've got to dodge that, and you either wait in spawn for that, or just, if you're good enough, like I said, rocket jump your way over there. Void, I'm assuming, probably just flew over there at the start of one round. So you watch out for your heavies, your medics, your demos with the crits or whatever. You watch out for your snipers standing either there or up on the rocks area there. Generally, as a soldier, you obviously play on high ground and or the air, so you either come up the cliff side if you know there's no gun, but if there's a gun you're going to have a hard time getting up the cliff on your own unless you get an Ubered, which there's a reasonable chance you might get it depending on sort of if you've played, but, and if you've got medics for that matter, which is somewhat rare. You want to get rid of the sentry gun. Yeah, and you want to get rid of the sentry gun. You know the snipers are up there, but you're decent with the direct hit. You've hit them for 60 odd or so. They'll go for the medium pack, probably pop back, hit them again. They'll either retreat or die.
Death.
And then you come up the far right hand side here and just spam the direct hit the moment you get line of sight. The less you expose, the better, because if the engineer's worth his salt, he'll be wrangling, trying to shove rockets down you. Which allows your... we're talking comp here, purely, mainly.
Money.
If you want to just trash the sentry gun, go direct hit, generally most engineers will not wrangle in time, in pubs at least. Whilst you're doing that, your team will be pushing up the cliff with an Uber, and hopefully someone will either got rid of their pyro, or something to that effect. The demo may be bombing in at the very start. They'll suicide and either pick an engineer or a medic, if he does it well. If not, that's the thing. In comp, it's all about the Uber advantage, or the Uber advantage of the sentry gun, so they can spend 30 seconds, 45 seconds just bombing that nest repeatedly with demos and soldiers over and over again, just to try and get rid of a sentry gun or something like that. Jump cuts and shit, something, what the lag. Alright. I don't remember what I was talking about exactly, because it's been about a week. Let's just say, TLDR, level sentry gun, move up. Right side, watch out for snipers, don't get backstabbed. You can push the cart all the way to the end of the tunnel until you get to the sentries if you like, but generally faster classes / caster classes with X2 on that will be doing that, or other teammates and stuff. Generally, because you've got pyros and stuff like that, they will go on the cart to start with, because they can't do much at the first point unless they're going up there with an Uber, because comp, but it's unlikely you'll be playing it as a comp game in a pub. Speaking of pyro, let's very smoothly segue into the class. Except I can't.
Are we not like changing it up like we did last time, where you just go through the entire map?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Thank you, my lovely assistant, for reminding me of such important, valuable information for this video.
Right, second, I would say best thing to do, because every sniper and their mother will stand behind that concrete barrier, because it is a fantastically good sniping spot, honestly. It's a very, very long line of sight, and you get plenty of opportunity to sort of pop people off as they come down the cart track. I would say go in the backfield, like you should with almost all classes. But, it's more valuable for others. Going in the backfield, best thing to do probably is either come up the main stairs and try and force people out as quickly as possible before they get 6 level 3s built, but odds are, knowing most pub games, there will be a level 3 built on this point before the round even starts, because people are weird and don't see the value in defending first. Although you can hold people at first quite easily.
If this is a lobby, generally the pyro will be up here as well, so even if there was a push going on, because I recall from when I did the thing, some of us read it, the pyro kept pushing us back off
he generally watches the back. He generally watches the back stairs, and the heavy and the medic are on the front.
So it can be a bit risque. If
but the quicker you get up here, if you wipe their team or wipe most of them, if you've got the cart in the tunnel, you've got time to push it up with. If the Engie and the scout are pushing it up, you've got time to walk down the main cart track potentially, and rocket jump up here, or wait until the gate opens. The engineer will probably not even have a level 1 up. It'll probably be mid-process of building, especially if you kill him on first point, because it's 20-second respawn usually.
So
but back to the pub stuff.
Yes.
If this roof gets held, you're going to have a hard time. The longer you give people on this roof, the worse it's going to get generally.
Yeah.
If you get an engineer who builds a teleporter up here using a dispenser and he's relatively competent, the only way you can really get rid of him, especially if he's got a medic with a heavy or a demo or anybody who he can Uber, especially if he's running Uber, or even crits and comes down the stairs and pushes into you. Both of these strategies can work either way around, by the way, so if you're on offense, do sort of this sort of thing. Coming up the back stairs is generally the best way to counter a sentry gun, because it has to spend its entire time either rotating, potentially killing the engineer in the process, or it will not rotate quick enough to even deal with you. For some reason, I've noticed recently that a lot of players... Oh no, I'm thinking terribly. I'm assuming that there's a way that the stairs down there lead over here somehow, but you do have to keep an eye out on this left corridor here, because it's all corners pretty much. People will come around this quick, so you're coming up these stairs here and then you'll end up with a pyro or something just popping out there.
It's also a very good place for spies to do tricking stabs.
Oh yeah.
So be careful, because corner stabs are obviously a massive thing.
Corner stabs and stair stabs and all that quirks.
Yeah.
Exactly. One thing you can do, if the sentry gun's not behind this air conditioner thing? What is
Well, it's an air conditioning unit, so
Okay,
it's where
it's
the
an
air
air
conditioning
conditioning
unit comes. It's where it comes out from the top, the ventilation system.
Why is it in open? Oh right, okay, it's
because
for
the, air
the building below.
Shut
the fuck up.
That's the noise it makes.
And if the sentry gun's misaligned, so say it's here, or let's go over there and actually have a look, shall we? I can't rocket jump. So if you I fell. If you like shimmy to the left here, if the sentry gun's there or there, you can still hit it from here. Another thing you can do, I believe, is you can rocket jump and potentially ping it with a rocket or two. If you've got the base jump, you can have a easier time doing it, but I never run that thing because bleh.
Just bleh.
Learn to market garden the proper way if you really want to learn. And that's why I'm still terrible at rocket jumping, in case you're wondering. I like holding W. You can get rid of the sentry gun by picking it off from over on that little standing platform, and you have a medium health back there, and unless the enemy team is all standing back here watching and waiting for people to harass and aren't down on the cart track. Oh, what the fuck is this? Now I've got to password the server. We'll be right back. Haha, he's not even in the server. No.
Thank you very much.
Well, you are, but you're not in the game yet. Right. Now we've put passwords on this thing so we don't get disturbed by, hey look at the quick play system, this server's viable, let's connect people to it. What a good idea, it's totally not got SV Cheats 1 and fucking tournament mode on or anything.
Yep.
I don't understand how that's still a viable server. But anyway, come up backstairs, wreck sentry gun, use splash damage, be soldier, shoot feet, get kills. That's why I run the direct hit, because all splash damage is a crutch. Get good kids. No, I'm joking. That, you know, it's the splash damage on the stock rocket launcher is ridiculous though comparatively to after using this thing. It's good practice, but then you have to get used to the fact that rockets travels incredibly slowly comparatively to this thing. But yeah, come up roof, trash the sentry gun, hold it for as long as possible. You've got small two health kits. Small two health kits, two small health kits.
Secret medium one, which no one ever remembers about.
Yeah, which you can rocket jump quite easily if you do a decent rocket jump, which I didn't really.
This whole back area is really good for rocket jumping, I suppose. Apart from that level 3, if it's up, that is. But
yeah, and you can use these crates as sort of a.
You've got good freedom to maybe.
You can do the annoying granary thing where you just sit on top of crates and just dodge everything because there's no walls for people to hit at.
Yeah.
After that, it's a case of getting the cart down the track, which your team should hopefully have got it to about there, and then it's just a case of either going to spawn camp to slow them down or helping push the cart to get times 3 on it to get it moving at maximum speed. Let's do third point.
Third point? This is third point?
This is third point.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. This house has a medium health in, decent. Can be very difficult to push out of because it's a blind corner and you will end up with 13 rollers sitting at your feet and or sticky bombs attached to. It can be attached to there, attached to there, it can be on the door above it, and I think it'll hit you for a decent chunk. Put like 4 or 5 up there, it's probably going to insta-give you.
Basically a mystery collection.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
If you come through this way and there's any semblance of a team presence in this area, you're going to need an Uber coming through that doorway. Yeah. However, lots of snipers like to stand here. you come through the boiler room. There's only a small pack, but if the sentry gun's in the... Oh, that was terrible. Nobody saw nothing. Shut up. If you come through the boiler room and rocket jump up here, you have... Unless the Pyro's waiting up there, I'm just talking in a strict comp sense now. Unless the Pyro's waiting up... Has that number always been there?
Number?
991941.
I don't remember it being there.
No, neither do I.
Don't forget we found those secret things in Upward, remember?
Illuminati confirmed!
I like how we're finding something secret in every episode. This is like,
pretty much.
We're secretly in on knowing all this.
No, we're not. I'm not Valvin. If I was, I'd have more subscribers, because I'd all be like, Source 2's coming out, I'm leaking it!
That's why I'm saying it's secret. We're just like helping Gaben out, you know, shh, don't tell
Not helping
anyone.
Gaben out, or hindering Gaben. Anyway, as previously mentioned in Engineer Guide, link not on the screen at all, and you'll have to find that yourself, because I'm lazy, and even though I'm editing this together in like 14 different parts, I'm not going to put an annotation on the screen, because that's too much effort, apparently. The sentry usually goes there, so this gives you direct access to it, and I don't know, third point will be taken very quickly, because the spawn switches and the doors that open up that's over... Just going to no-clip to it. The door that's there closes, basically, so you're locked out, and the enemy team has to walk all the way around, and generally third gets pushed quickly.
It kind of reminds me of Bomb Blitz, the third point. That usually gets pushed really quickly.
I can argue that. I can argue that.
Well, you're the one that told me this, so...
Well, yeah, in comp it does, because there's no real good sentry spots. In pubs it doesn't, because you can have multiple demo mount, and... See this ramp here?
Hello,
if this was Bomb Blitz, this would be sloped, and it would roll back every time. That's what makes Bomb Blitz third hard to push.
Yeah.
The fact that the cart will roll back a fucking mile and a half.
Yeah.
And it goes slower uphill, on top of everything else.
Yeah.
But comparatively, this is a lot easier to push than Bomb Blitz third, I'd say, generally. As a soldier, going through the boiler and getting access to the upper area is always good, because high ground equals winner is you. You just got to watch out for people with backburners coming up these stairs and just going, you're toasted in 2.2 seconds, if that.
Just toasties.
Coming down the main is okay, but generally snipers will be watching either there... Well, they can be watching boiler as well. They'll either watch the main or they'll watch the boiler room. They don't really focus on the left side because that's more demo heavy Pyro territory. You are in a ditch there though, so you do lose your high ground, generally coming up boiler, which is something I never do really. I don't come up boiler, which is probably be quite good, but if I'm using a direct hit, I'm not that bothered about getting high ground, to be honest. Because I basically just outfire rate people. Out projectile speed people, so they're firing shitty rockets at mid range that do like 23 and I'm hitting them for 50 odd. At like full pelt. When I'm good, when I'm bad, I'm just missing entirely. There's not much to say for soldier for this one. It's just a case of jumping over here and harassing from the upper area and watching your back while you're doing that, because this point lacks health kits other than the one down here, which is in spam territory 101.
Yeah.
And you can be seen from that corner, which is generally where a lot of assaults pour around. You'll end up with sort of dead time for say about 5 to 10 seconds, and then you'll end up with 6 people flying around that corner, where I've got my crosshair at the moment. Other than that, this should be third point's usually relatively easy pushers. Soldier. Let's. Those numbers are totally new as well.
Well, let's move on to the last point.
Last point. All right.
Yes.
This is Chokefest McSpam 2014. Generally, the enemy team will be holding on this corner or slightly just before around it. You can end up with sentries on the ramp, which not a bad position. You can end up with sentries on top of this thing, which is fucking obnoxious. You can get it from that window and all the way back here, I believe, if you crouch.
Yeah, certain Engies and Pyros can get up there, which is very much annoying to deal with.
It's perfectly viable to do so, and it's not a bad spot by any means. It's just you'll be quite low health getting it up there if you don't have a medic giving you overheal.
Yeah.
I think you can get up there with about 50 health missing, but generally I'll fuck it up and take about 100. These pipes, every class can use these to their advantage to some extent. Snipers will, unless they know you're here, they generally won't check these pipes. They'll be looking at the main area because this is slight elevation. This can be used to get rid of sentries that are slightly around the corner because you can see a little bit further than you usually would.
Great area for spies as well.
Yeah, spies will hop over this on the other side.
Yeah, Pyros are like everywhere. Then it's a great area.
You can just sit up here with a cloak and dagger all week if you want to, generally.
Yep.
That's something I do on Bomb Blitz first sometimes. I'm like super try-harding, I'll sit on those boxes. Anyway. Spoilers, we'll be doing bomblets probably next at some point.
Yeah.
Pushing this, you either want to go through map room, which I've noticed of the recent games has been relatively choky, or there's usually a sentry gun or a pyro or a demo waiting in there for you, which can be a little bit difficult to deal with when you've got
Last
this
time I
weapon.
remember, there was a heavy medic combo just waiting in there. So it gets even.
So
tougher,
people have started prioritising that recently. I've noticed it's not a sort of free flank anymore where you can just go up behind them and just one-shot snipers with this thing, which I used to love doing, but I've not done it recently because it's very difficult to do so. Tyres, arguably the less difficult to push in the areas, but once again it's the health back. What's the word? I'll go with limitation. Health back limitation. There's only 2 smalls here, and while that'll do you for 80, if you've got a teammate taking it, it'll only do you for 40, which is not much. And Afterburn will take that away from you quite easily, unless you get it early. But the main advantage is coming this way if you can cut through the wave of scout. There's usually a scout back here, isn't there?
Scout, sometimes, yeah.
Scout, pyro, demo.
Pyro, demo.
You don't see soldier here all that often because he's too busy spamming the main area.
Yeah. Nothing really else.
Yeah. All classes will use this as sort of a travelling route, but depending on what team you're playing against, it'll be less held. Same for map room as well. You can check map room, but if there's level 3 in there, don't fucking bother.
Yeah. Well, this area here, it's very important, especially if you're attacking, because it's a variety of options now leading to where you can flank.
If classes can jump, they have the advantage here.
Yeah, they have a good advantage.
So you can just go up here, and this leads to a nice amount of murder, because if the sentry's under map room, it's out of range, and odds are people don't check this stairwell at all. If I notice rockets flying out of here and I'm a class that's relatively tanky, I'll try and deal with it, but odds are people don't check the stairwell, and you can exploit the fact that you can sort of dance around these stairs and projectiles, and rockets splash damage is weird on stairs. I've fired rockets like right at people and it's missed because like that stair there counts different to that stair there, which is completely and utter bullshit. But also Mr. fucking Fancy here has probably had a great time in this area running people up here and just going, look at me, I flew down 3 flights and stair stabbed the guy standing at the bottom.
I'll get to that when I get to that, but that's spy for you. But you can get that as well with Scout, like I think I mentioned before as well. Standing here is a good opportunity to get people like annoyed and then come after you. And that's
jump over the heads, jump down, jump up, use the fact you've got a double jump. You won't take full damage, just bait around people.
Yeah, you've literally got a good window of opportunity
to run people in circles, sentry gun here, you can come out an edge if you know there's not like 6 people respawning there, which... I don't know, that lower spawn doesn't get much use, does it, generally? I think it's when the upper spawns...
It's something to do with the
it's generally when last is being taken, isn't it?
Yeah.
When people are on the cart, and the cart's about, say, there-ish.
Here, When the warning sirens go off, everyone will literally come
spawn out of there, which is beneficial to be honest. Well, I think it's balancing to some extent, because if they both spawned out of there, it gives double high ground, doesn't it? You know, it's
exactly.
So you end up in the lower spawn, so you have to kind of watch your back there. But if the cart's still up the ramp down up there, you can get rid of the level 3 that's sitting here relatively easy by peeking it. If you're using something, that isn't a direct hit, you can go ahead and use Mr. Splash damage. And oh my god, I've talked for 10 minutes just on soldier. Jesus Christ, it's going to be so long. Actually, it's not, because I'm worse at the rest of the classes. And it's going to be a recap of most things, to be honest.
Yeah, don't worry.
And we're going to be doing lots of no clipping.
Exactly.
So sentry guns are relatively easy to take out here. You can get picks by either going through map room and taking the upper area, and then either bombing in with a beggars or a black box. Well, not necessarily a black box, because then you're loaded with 2 rockets.
Go through map room and come around.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'll stand up there and it gets rid of the sentry gun under there without any justification for it to spam you out. You can also just spawn camp a little bit up there. Demo does it better, obviously, because lol sticky bombs. I missed the days where there was going to be turrets outside of spawn. They should have made that a thing.
Turrets outside of spawn?
Yeah, there was originally going to be a thing in Team Fortress 2 where turrets were going to be outside of the spawn, so you could basically, like, see where that camera is. If you come up here.
Hang on. So the camera's going to be...
Yeah, imagine that being a turret. Say they have a range of about up to, let's say, about here.
Wow.
Yeah. So they could kind of cover the spawn and protect it. I'd quite like that to still be a thing, but I don't think it's going to be introduced 7 years down the line.
Never know.
But yeah, last point can be a nightmare to push because all the heavy medic combos and Ubers and sentry guns. So you've just got to kind of pick and choose where you go, mix it up, come through map room, come through the flank, even come down main sometimes. But a lot of snipers will stand either up there or in that window. or in that
Yeah.
spawn doorway, so they can just go, I've taken 99 from a body shot, I better go run back in with my Darwin's danger shield. Then I body shot you with the Machina for 180, balancing. But, yeah, that's why you play on the flanks generally. As a soldier, you go around the sides. That's soldier in a nutshell, to be honest.
Yes.
Exploit your advantages, get your Ubers, get in, you know, kill everybody, and when it seems like there's an opening, push the cart, because if they get respawns, it's going to become a cluster mess. So, the further the cart gets, the better, because people panic. When the warning sirens go off and it's about here, people are panicking. There's times where I've just gone, oh god, we need to do something, so I've just danced on top of the cart like a twat for like 5 minutes as scout. Not 5 minutes exactly, but about 10 seconds as scout, and it's just allowed for respawns and allowed my team to clear up, you know.
Yeah.
It's when it gets to this point, it's not about killing everybody, it's about biding time. If you can just sit on top of the cart for, say, 3 or 4 seconds, or just dance around it, making sure it doesn't go into the bomb pit, you're in for good shape generally.
Yeah.
Because we have the massive respawn advantage. One thing to say, if you can do it, is if you're on offense, go around the tyres, hop up into the... Let's go... No clip over here. Hop up into that window there, get behind them, and stand on that balcony area there and get rid of the teleporter that's either there or there, because that is cutting down their walk time so much.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mr. French Ninja will discuss this.
Ninja. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go Pyro then.
Yep.
Since I've rambled for far too long at this point. When the respawn time decides to work. And through the wall. Yep. All like big payload maps are basically just in a circle.
Yeah.
Pyro. Now.
Pyro's completely naked.
What?
He's completely naked.
No,
On
he
my
isn't.
screen. It's on my screen, yes.
Well, I've got a fish on my head. I've got
Doesn't
the
matter.
stupid cute suit thing in the eyes. Anyway. Pyro, you can go through the tunnel and try and get behind people and use that as a flank. Reflect the various sort of spam that's coming from this side, because soldiers and demos will be standing about sort of on this line here, or even closer than that. If you're very good with your mouse too, which I am fucking garbage with, shut up, I don't play this class, it's too easy. No offense, but I am impressed by good pyros, especially when they start reflecting direct hit rockets back at me consistently. That
I'm
spooks
also
me out.
pissed, but for a good reason.
Yeah,
It's
he's
my
not a
counter.
fan. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard counter. You know, Pyro denies a lot of classes. That's why he frustrates people generally, and that's why
He
he
denies a lot
frustrates
of
me.
branches because he's like the red mage from Final Fantasy. Like, he's the jack of all trades. He knows healing
Yeah,
magic.
well,
he
he's
knows,
the
like,
jack of all
you know,
trades, but he's the master of air blasting and crits.
Yeah, he's just bullshit.
He's well, yeah, he can basically shut down anything that's not a sniper. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Sniper and scout maybe, unless the scout's well. A good pyro will shut down a scout as well because flares and sniper to some extent. But sniper, if the sniper's an equal level, the sniper will kill the pyro most of the time.
Yeah, just this pyro has the smallest head like area, doesn't it?
Yeah, hitbox on the
Box
head.
area of head, yeah.
Because
well,
you
whatever.
know why not?
Why the fuck not?
Anyway, actual class discussion.
Yeah.
Pyro, I'm weak with. I'll admit, because I don't play him. Because it becomes who can become more retarded with either flares or the shotgun or the reserve shooter, and who can like dance around each other with the flamethrower. And I always find that my flamethrower's hitbox is weird, and I always have to like. I think if you're strafing one way and using it another, so like that, the flames are actually like to my right while I'm doing this, and it's weird and buggy, and I don't like it. And I wish flames made sense, but they don't because they're weird particles that aren't like behave like bullets or rockets. Anyway, come through tunnel, come up behind people. If there's a sentry gun, you can try and reflect the rockets back at it, killing the engineer, but you may get 1 or 2 goes at that without it killing you.
Yeah, unless you've got a medic up your
Without
arse.
getting, about to say, unless you've got a medic on you, which is not common particularly, but if it's comp, I'm sure every pyro under the sun knows this already. You will have Mr. Pyro 1 here, Mr. Pyro 2 here, and then they'll have a nice little air blast fight while the Ubers go off.
Yeah.
Generally, Mr. Pyro 1 standing here will be killed before Ubers come in, if possible. Obviously, he's in a questionable spot and difficult to get because he's hiding behind these rocks, so snipers are denied. You will not be backstabbing him because he'll just be doing this the entire time, probably. And yeah, it becomes a case of can you get rid of the pyro / where else can you push from, because going under the tunnel means sentry gun to the face. Going across the main area means wrangled sentry gun to the face, but that's the thing, reflecting sentry gun rockets. They travel at the same speed as normal rockets, I believe. I did look this up a little while back, and I think they are the exact same speed as the rocket launcher rockets, which means I should be better than them. What the fuck are you doing?
I got a minigun kit.
That's pretty good. It's probably worth what you just paid for. Maybe not, actually. Anyway, Pyro, kind of limited on this point. I'd say come up this right side, get rid of spam, put people out, and try and get your team into this sentry gun's range without them being killed by it.
Yeah.
Try and get rid of the sentry gun rockets if you're good enough. If not, sort of just meander about, cook people. If not, if there's no gun there, flank around, get this corner locked down. Play to your strengths, play in close quarters, you know, that's what the class is about. Other than sending stuff back. Second.
Okay, second, hello.
If you're on defense, getting this roof is pretty fucking critical, because all you have to do to defend it is just right-click people off of it. Say they come in with an Uber here, and they're pushing into the sentry gun, and the sentry gun's about here. All you have to do is just come up behind and go boop, off. And same goes for the back area. If they come in and pop on this corner here, you can just wait here and just go. And they might do a bit of damage to you on the way down, but then they're down the stairs with 2 to 3 seconds of Uber wasted. You might have to do it more than once. Once again, denying roof, incredibly valuable. You can roam around behind, sort of just check underneath the stairs, and I like to do loops generally when I'm playing this class, and same with demo. I'll do loops between, I'll go around like this, down here, flame a little bit there.
Yeah, Pyro's all about going through a cycle, basically. Once you've set yourself down, like
it's just, to some extent, it is about sort of just knowing where people are going to come from and knowing what classes you're up against. I will walk around that stairwell, down, round, check what's there. If there's too much hostilities, I will come back up the stairs, grab a couple of small health kits / knock at the dispenser, get healed, flame around for spies, and then rotate around this way. You can sort of just repeat the cycle. A sentry will generally be on this point in some way, shape or form, so the main cart track area is completely covered. You just need to watch the back. You can go down the main cart track and harass with flares to try and help the snipers out, but arguably that's less useful than staying up here and being a nice Pyro.
Yeah,
and making his life a misery. Other than that, return spam, hold back area, try and hold that stairwell if possible. Exploit the fact that you can just stand on the railings in there and just sort of look down and just go, you're dead, because I have the backburner lol. And hitboxes are weird.
Not a big surprise.
Anyway, pushing into that, you want to do the exact opposite of that. You've got to try and get the Pyro off the roof, get rid of him. Use a shotgun if you have to, because there's going to be probably about 4 of you on each team, because that's how most pubs are. Clear the roof with, say there's a soldier or a demo or something like that, get rid of him as best as you can. You know, it works both ways. You can push other people off the roof as much as their Pyro can push you off the roof. You know, if they've got a heavy medic combo waiting up there, you can sort of flank around either the top side or up there and just push them off the roof, and then that gives your team access to it, whilst they may have moved there down here. So they have to come around the back stairwell, and then you can just push them off again, you know. Once again, it's all about the roof on this point. It's pretty much with every single class other than Sniper and Spy. They will be on that roof, more than likely. Is that right? Engie? Yeah, pretty much. Demo probably be roaming around this front area, and so will Soldier to some extent, but... third is Pyro. I could do with the detonator right now, so let's just grab that. I'm interested to see. I think you can make it. I think you can make... No, you can't make it back. You can make it going backwards, can't you? But you can't make it jumping across. I'll show you what I mean. Come to boiler.
Yeah, I'm in boiler. No, this is printer, isn't it?
Oh, wait, what?
You said it was boiler.
Third point. Boiler. Boiler's on the right. Or the left, sorry, if you're on red.
Yeah, I'm on the left.
Yeah.
I thought that was the boiler.
You can't... Yeah, that's the boiler in there. You can't make this jump the other way, can you? It's just that way, that I just did.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Well, you can do it with a reserve detonator if you're not terrible. So you can make it with the detonator. So that's something you can do on offense. Pushing into them, you can just jump over here and be the most surprising motherfucker ever. And just walk up behind everybody with the back burner and just go cooked. Or just get crits like I just did, because you know Pyro.
Pyro.
Yeah, the ability to flank as a Pyro on this point and going through boilers kind of surprising. People don't generally expect it unless they're holding sort of on that corner and notice you jumping across there. They will not expect Pyro coming up behind them. You may even get a "What the fuck is the Pyro doing back there?" in a chat.
What the fuck?
Cool.
Yeah.
One thing you can do is stand down the main area down there and reflect shit.
Yeah.
Yep. As they spam down into it.
Shot air blasting.
Yeah. Odds are you won't be able to do much with pipes and stuff because pipes will not go uphill, but rockets are fine for that. This area here should be cleared pretty quickly. This is generally never an issue. The first part of this is generally into this little trench area that's difficult. If the sentry is up in that area, you're going to have to try and like dance around it by going hard left when you do the debt jump across. Excuse me again. You can go into the house here and support your heavy med combo if you've got one. Or you can sort of just heckle and harass from there with flares and try and keep people away from the stairs. I believe you can get people over this railing with one air blast, but you'll actually need to be around the corner, I believe. You need to be... Yeah, you need to be about here to get them over with one air blast. And even then it might...
Should I go blue?
You can do, yeah,
So
you can test it.
It'll practice out.
So you can sort of get into this area and either... Well, the sentry gun might shoot from there, but you can heckle people with whatever flare / shotgun you have of your choice, and you can either just sort of 80-80 strafe your way close, because projectiles are relatively slow in this game compared to some stuff.
Hello, I'm here.
Hello, friend. Let's just... No, the railing does block it because it's weird, so... Yeah, you can kind of like crouch air blast it. It's an odd sort of thing, I don't know if that's...
I wasn't crouching.
No, I mean, I crouched.
I
I sort of slided.
Oh,
And tried again.
Okay.
Yeah, you can like do a weird like crouch slide into it, because I think that like adjusts your hitbox for where you air blast. Come up here. Alright, back, come forward a bit. So regular one puts you to there. Come back there. About the same spot, yeah. Yeah, it gave you a bit more height, didn't it? Knocked you a little bit further back. So you can sort of do a weird crouch slide around the corner. And,
well, I suppose the crouch slide would be good, because if it makes you higher, then you have more of a chance to hit them with a flare, you know. Yeah.
Well, air blast is weird, and you can sort of adjust the angle just sort of like looking like that, and then I bet if I do that, like... And jumping fucks with it massively as well, you know, if you get someone in the air and there's a sentry gun shooting them, they will go to space and back. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can send Uber medics off the cliff. I've seen it in one of the Sins videos. But yeah, going up there with the detonator and flanking around is probably the best thing you can do on that. For offense, it's spam management as usual. You know, it's spam management and flanking. You can come through boiler. People don't check boiler all that often. Generally, you'll find a sniper here. You can just flare and chase him down, and then sort of go around the side and just harass from the right. Once again, not my main class, not something I know much about, but this is just generalistic advice.
Yeah.
Same rule applies here. If you're standing back here, you've got plenty of time to react to... Thanks for that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shoot you.
If you've got plenty of time to react to anything that isn't a direct... Well, even then you can still react to a direct hit to some extent. Snipers like to stand in that barn area there. If they're quite aggressive, you can flare them to get them out of there. As long as you're not around this corner, you're not in sniper sight line, so you can sort of just go around there. Once again, rule applies from soldiers to pyro. It can work both ways. This little area up here can be det jumped up to. Obviously you take a bit of damage, but it's the trade-off. Those windows are open, so I believe you can get a good sight line on red snipers from here generally. So you can just put a flare out there.
Good area, yeah.
Once again, flanking around is perfectly viable, going through map room and all that. Oops, that's a bind, lols. Pop out the floor. You can take a left into the tyres and once again det jump up, but just coming up behind people generally in this area, when they're holding the corner, if there's not a level 3 there, they will not expect someone to come up behind them and just barb it. Oh, hello friend. I think I found a spy. See, it's all about the actual practice here. Coming up behind them on this corner is pretty good, and even better is, excuse me, fat boy. Massive hitbox, that was terrible. You can hop up here and come up behind people, and if the level 3 has just gone down, or there's a soldier with you, you can sort of help protect him while he gets the level 3 down, and then you can just come in here and just go, hey, you're in a corner and I'm a pyro. And you can brutalise them viciously with the power jack and have all kinds of fun and get all your health back and then be overhealed with 260 health, even though you're a class without fucking medic support. And have a great time in general. Yes. If you've got free time on your hands and you feel like trying to taunt kill snipers and you've managed to get here somehow, that was terrible. You didn't see shit. You can make it onto there. Shut up.
Yeah, okay.
I'm bad at this.
We get the picture.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You've got to get the picture properly.
Oh.
I can't do it. I'm bad. I've sat up there as a scout, just in the high five pose for about
scouts.
Probably about 5 to 10 minutes, just literally just sitting up there in the high five pose. Because there wasn't a gun built down below. It was in the map room area, and it couldn't hit me from there. So I was just sitting up there because it's a dark corner. And people don't check it. You know. You can. I think you can just wrap around jump there. Yeah. See, you don't need to debt jump. I'm just bad. It makes me sad how bad I am. So you can just sit up here with the cloak and dagger and just go, level 3 sentry down there. Yeah, that's perfectly viable as well. I think the sentry does shoot you, but if you're right back in this corner, it won't. So you can make it back, and then you can just come here and just go over and over again, and get a taunt kill and laugh at the sniper. Not necessarily in the comp game. I'm just on about in general, because they will not look around. They will spend 5 minutes scoped in there to get the full damage body shot. Yeah, generally once the guns are down in this area, you've got a bit of free reign, and you can sort of just come in and clear up. If they spawn in that lower area, any rockets you send back will hit multiple people. If they spawn in the upper area, you can sort of lurk on the stairs here. People don't check corners, so you can stand here for a second, wait until they jump down, and just torch them.
Yeah.
Unless Mr. McPrick does that, but then you can just send him up into the air, torch him, hit him with a flare, and then become... what's the guy who does the Pyros videos?
Pyros videos?
The ones where he like flames Pyros from above and then hits them with the extinguisher.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I think it was... no.
Don't say Muzzlick, because it's not Muzzlick.
No, it's not... I know who you mean, though.
Yeah, there's a guy who does ridiculous shit with Pyro, because he detonates and then stands on top of that fucking speaker thing there. Except, not quite. It's the same thing it does on Dust Bowl and Nucleus and places like that, and he'll just jump it. Because the way flames work is that you can fall faster than them, so he'd probably do it somewhere here and just go flame like that and then hit them with whatever. But he's got a degreaser on, so he can switch a lot quicker than I can. Yes. Put people out, be a general heckling nuisance, reflect everything, and GG, you are King of Pyro. Let's go demo. Demo night on this map is perfectly viable. See, I played fucking Persian Persuader demo night. And went on a nice little tear.
You even upload that video yet?
I think it's going up today.
Oh, okay.
It's the second part of the three-part set thing. Also, trimping is a thing. Wait, actually I did it wrong, whatever. Where you go up a rock thingy and go sliding all over the map. This map's very good for it because of all the rocks that are like this. There are angles and you can sort of just grease your way up them.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me try and do it right. Yeah, is that the fucking Reddit's going nuts over it somewhat recently. Yeah. And you can sort of just fly around the mountain. Let's see if I can do it on these stairs like I meant to do the first time. We kind of know. That was terrible.
We kind of lift off the ground.
Yeah. Better with the Titan, you can just go left or right and you can get more momentum because of that, because air strafing is weird and odd and stuff. I'll try and show that better at some point. Demo. I've briefly mentioned with Soldier. Bombing the sentry gun at the very start is perfectly viable. You can do it with stock sticky bomb launcher. I think you can get over here with one stick, but I wouldn't know because I haven't got it on because I barely use a sticky bomb launcher because I hate it.
If you're feeling really dandy, you can put the sticky jumper on and go for a Liverpool keeper.
Yes, and get the medic. It's perfectly viable because the sentry has a damn hard time tracking you, and unless it's the very start of a comp match, the engineer will not generally have it wrangled ready for you to come in. After the first time, I sort of get wise to it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm assuming the demo's going to jump the next 4 times. I ended up dominating a demo in a Badwater lobby, where he just kept doing that over and over again. That was the one where I held the point for 11 minutes. It was great. Hey. That's a good video. Go watch it. We got completely wrecked on fucking offense, and I was all like, oh great, now we're going to have to do this for fucking 12 minutes, and we ended up holding first for 11, and I was all like, alright, demo, maybe you should try trying instead of just bombing in over and over again and doing nothing. But, alright then.
Okay.
That was a good one. That was fun. But yeah, demo on the first point. Get the gun down. That's probably your primary thing. Get the gun down. Clear off this little area here. Pills do 1,000,000 damage at any range because they're hilariously broken. By that I mean they are harder to aim. These iron sights are off. People mention them and now I can't unsee it. They're like tilted to the left. Anyway, the iron sights on the demo man's grenade launcher. They used to be straight on, but they're tilted to the left now. Ha ha ha. Now nobody else will be able to unsee that as well. Ha ha ha. Oh, no. I'm a monster. Anyway. Clear out the or just go straight up cliff with a medic with a sticky bomb launcher and an Uber, and that'll be gunned down. Unless he wrangles, and then you have to put 6 at it. Which is still perfectly viable, you just got to do it without, what do you call it, without a pyro being up here, which you can pipe to death by spamming. I think if you stand about here, you can hit the sentry gun blind. Tell me where those land.
They're just missing the stairs. Well, the top of the stairs anyway.
Top of the stairs, okay, so you stand a bit further forward. How's that?
It's just hitting the top of the stairs again.
So if where the sentry gun to be near enough?
near enough, but you're not on
Yeah.
mark.
Well, you can just adjust it by doing that and backing up and going forward.
Yeah, you just hit me. And
Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, you can pipe it. You can blind pipe it because it does about 100 and something damage. It'll go down in 2 pipes, I believe. And because you're doing it blind, you'll be likely hitting the engineer as well because he won't be expecting that. And seriously, it's like one of the. You can do it with sticky bombs as well. You can just sort of charge them up and launch them over like that. I think they have a similar arc to the grenade. Yeah, I was right on point.
But the radius, yeah, the radius to be able to fast shoot pills is probably more effective, I suppose.
Yeah, because it does good. It's got a huge splash radius.
And if Pyro's the only one's running, you can just easily destroy them before it even sets it off. So yeah.
Well, yeah, Pyro can reflect those, but it's a weird spot and people won't expect you to be standing there. But if you're on comp, you can have a hard time. Well, not necessarily. You can always just do a sticky jump up to here, but then you're going to deal with everybody who's standing here. There's viability in pubs because generally people will get to about here, and then obviously you're in a sniper sight line to some extent here, but you can do it from any angle. That's the thing. You can stand here and probably hit it. How's that?
Yeah, you're hitting it now.
Yeah, so you can stand where I am now. You can see me, can't you?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. And just pipe it from here, just at the right angle. Pills are incredibly diverse, almost to a ridiculous extent, because the rollers do about 50 odd. So you can just spam rollers in the general direction. I've done that so many times and I'm like, yeah, I got a kill. What of it? Because just there's so much diversity in them. The downside is that it takes a decent amount of time to reload. I don't know what's. I'm kind of interested.
What's up?
I think it's about the same for reloading a rocket launcher, and because rocket launchers suffer from such damage fall off, if I hit someone with a rocket down there who's a sniper, I'm going to do 23 to him. If I hit him from about here with a pipe, which I don't think it's going to make, no, a little bit short. So I hit him from about here. That's going to do 100 if it hits him directly.
Yeah.
At this range, you know. Not saying it's easy, but then you use the lock and load and it does 124 at that range. It's fucking insane, but...
Yeah, it's demo, man. Right, should we get back on target?
Yeah, probably.
We've got a bit of a time limit.
I don't kid. No, we haven't.
Oh,
Last one was an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not make it an hour and 20 minutes.
No, I'll make it as long as I like.
Right.
Yeah, clearing first point, get rid of the sentry gun, get this upper area held down. If enemies are fighting down in this area, you have the advantage because rollers and high ground are great times.
Roll straight into them.
Yep. And when you get to this point, you can spam the choke to either... In fact, you can get back here and just stall them out by spamming into that area as well. So once first point's pretty much secured, because there's no way they're going to come through that gate area, because obviously it's locked, you can just stand here and harass. Obviously, he's standing still and I'm a terrible shot, but if you're better with pills, you can just direct hit people from here. But that's the main thing, it's getting spam into that area. People stop and wait if there's pills. I generally do anyway. Second, once again, all about that roof. About that roof. No something. No cart track. Cart track. Shut up. Fucking hacker. You can come down the main cart track and do what I just did there and sort of harass and spam them out. Stickies work just as well, you know. You've got a variety of tools, and because the class other than scouts and snipers is relatively difficult to counter, you can go pretty much wherever you want, previously mentioned. So in this back area is good, you can come up behind people, you can just come up here and just sort of lob pills around this corner to prevent people getting up here and then come up the roof.
Yeah, just kill people.
Yep. Generally, just get rid of the gun, get rid of main obstacles. You are probably if you get Ubered up here, you're gonna have no trouble getting rid of it if it's there. Just pill and pipe.
It's probably a Pyro, but Pyros are hard to deal with Ubers anyway. But
yeah, their air blaster sticky bomb launchers do piss all, so have fun.
Yeah.
And generally you'll have support from heavies and soldiers and stuff like that coming up here as well. And if you're Ubered, it's not a non-issue. Exploit the fact that you have slightly below 100% movement speed. Just roam around, chop up a few heads if you want to. You know, get to whatever ridiculous speed it is when you get 4 heads, and just run around. Just keep in mind that the fact that your piping becomes complete shit when you've got 4. Previous experience. I ended up just lopping off heads because I was using the charging charge recently and just bombed about. Anyway, third.
Yes.
Third is probably arguably the hardest thing to push here. If you can get into this lower area, you're in for a good time, but the downside is that their demos will be up there, and they have the high ground. So they'll just be lobbing sticky bombs down into this area, so it becomes very hard for you to do anything. You can get into the upper area by doing a pill or sticky jump. Obviously a sticky jump's going to do quite a lot, a pill jump's going to do less, but I'm not sure if it does go through these railings, so that's an issue. For some reason, the ones on Frontier, the pills don't go through the railings, but on this one they do, look. On Frontier, you know where I put that sentry in the second, the pills don't go through it. I don't understand the railing mechanics, so you do kind of have to sticky jump here unless you're better with solo. You can do that. Hey, look, I did something first try without fucking it up.
Hey.
Oh, not impressive. So, there's that. There's the viability of going up there. You can come through the house area there and kind of get in a sticky bomb spamming war, which is always fun.
Always fun to deal with.
Push through with medics, you know, the usual demo thing. Once again, another choke. If you're back here, all you have to do is just lob grenades in this general direction, and you'll be doing 99 damage like that. That's with damage thread. Sticky bomb launcher goes double again because obviously it's twice as many projectiles for half as much effort. Once again, tires and map room always viable. Flank round, same thing with soldier. Soldier and demo play very similarly to some extent, apart from the fact there's a little bit more intricacy with rocket jumping and stuff like that, and taking down sentries are really harder as soldier, due to the Wrangler mainly. Come around here, spam this, do 100 damage to the sniper standing there, make him piss off, or him walk into one of your rollers. Go up the stairwell, get rid of the sentry gun, get an Uber through map room, get rid of the sentry gun underneath that. It's the usual demo spiel, you know. I can't really suggest much. If you're playing demo, you probably already know what you're doing to some extent, because it does have a very high skill ceiling, but at the same time, if you're just using a sticky bomb launcher on a Valve server, you're going to do fucking work, because it's a Valve server, you know.
Yeah.
And odds are you'll be getting crits and Ubers out the WAS, if you're semi-decent with them, which isn't too hard, especially on this last point. Nightmare choke. This is the reason why I say with most classes go around the flank, because there'll be 2 to 3 demos standing here just going ho 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 ho, I'm drunk, etc.
Yeah.
And here we come to the inevitable class that gets this shit pushed in repeatedly.
Oh,
wop, wop.
fat man, please. This is getting awkward.
I remember the picture on Nerf now where it's just like heavies.
Yeah.
When the Sandman stun was still 100%.
Yeah.
It was just like you're just standing there dead.
Yep.
Alright,
deal with.
Fatty Bumbalati, otherwise known as I can't do anything because my damage is complete piss all now. There's still viability in this class, but you do have to sort of be quite good with him and be revved up very often.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's becoming a sentry gun in disguise at this point.
I was talking to my friend who plays heavy as like a professional sort of like lobby person, whatever the fuck you want to call him. And I was talking to him about how do you exactly feel about all this shit going down, because obviously it's not really fair on you, but he's like, as much as like people are complaining about heavy getting nerfed, I don't see much of a difference apart from in crucial moments, but at the same time, heavy is still a viable option to kill a lot of things, you know.
Yeah, he's less of a clutch class. He can't react to certain things. Bombers become difficult to deal with because of the whole I've got to spend a second spinning up before I do full damage. You've still got the bullet knockback, but you're less likely to kill them now. That's the main downside to it. So you'll end up with a demo come flying in here at full pelt, so you can knock him back and stall him out with the sentry gun, but he's not going to die from it probably. He'll survive it, whereas before he'd be taking about 20-something damage per bullet, depending on how close he is. Fat Man, the main strat with this guy is come straight up cliff with a medic hopefully, and just level the sentry gun. If there's a pyro here, you're going back down, but that's the main thing. If you're communicating with a medic, which if you're playing heavy with that medic, you're either braver than I am, or I am bad at it. Well, I'm not bad at this class, but I've got 45 points on it with 10 hours. But you know, it's not an easy class anymore comparatively. You do need a medic with you. Back in the day, there was the whole Gru only does 6 damage to you when you're running, and the sandwich can be dropped down as 150 health for you. You couldn't pick it back up, you could just use it as a portable health kit, which was fucking broken. But there's also the, if you use mouse wheel, it'll swap quicker when you spin down. But if you mash your number pad, you will not swap it, which is a bug at the moment. I hope that they're going to fix, although there has been a patch since then, which is kind of disappointing. Kind of makes it like it's implied, but it's not, because the mouse wheel still works, unless they're waiting to patch it onto the mouse wheel. Anyway, heavy. Come up cliff, minigun everybody, get behind people, exploit the fact that whilst you're up here, they're preempting your movements far too quickly, because getting up cliff takes, what, like 15 seconds at that, if that. You'll come up the cliff and just kind of mow down everybody here, exploit the fact that you are kind of behind most people. And if it's not comp, the only person up here generally will be an engineer.
Yeah.
An engineer, unless he's using a dispenser and his teammates are all injured, which they won't be because they'll be sort of fighting down here. They generally fall back after the first 10-15 seconds, and by that time you're up cliff. When you're walking around that area, watch for spies, because generally they'll be waiting in this general area to drop down. There's all kinds of sneaky things you can do here. There's enough room to sort of... You could stand up here as a spy, not necessarily with the cloak and dagger, but just with the invisible watch and Latrangia, because it's, what, like 14 seconds or something ridiculous. In fact, as a spy you can just stand here. So I am.
Yeah.
Just wait. Hop down here, backstab med, backstab heavy. You know, that's Uber denied, point cleared. GG, no re.
GG, win, off we go.
Yep. That's another minute of the medic's life. Added on to sitting up the heavy's arse. First point, generally, it's come up cliff. Mow down everybody. You can push through the main area, but you're going to catch a lot of spam from probably 2 demos and a soldier, and maybe even a sniper if your snipers aren't hot. Shit, and theirs is. He'll generally take you out first and then deal with the other snipers, because it depends on target. Sort of, a good sniper will judge here that the heavy's more of a high value target, pick you, and then get the snipers who are less good, and get rid of the sort of that point. Coming through tunnels is not a bad thing to do as heavy as well after you've sort of cleared up cliff, because albeit it's a lower area, you do get the health from the cart, and everybody knows the good old-fashioned Hugo Long Heater plus attack strat, which is just type plus attack into the console and just sit on the cart and just aim. In fact, you can type plus forward as well and just sort of just steer with the mouse as you kill everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, because generally if you're on the cart with the Hugo Long Heater, you will get crits for some stupid reason and start doing obscene damage. And because you're moving at the same speed of the cart, you will get the advantage of doing full minigun damage the entire time. So unless they have a good spy and sniper, you will probably last most of the round and top score and have a great time.
Yeah.
If you want to put no effort into the game, that's pretty much what you can do as heavy on offense.
Seriously, do not feel like playing the game.
Yeah, if they don't get any sentries up and your team's trashing their sentries pretty quick, you're in for a good time. Once again, second point is the old routine of I'm going to come up the back of roof or the front of roof. It doesn't matter which, as long as you know where the enemies are and what the best route is. Coming up the back stairs is always a nasty surprise generally if you can make it up there, because you do have to go around that corner where there's a lot of hostiles potentially.
I suppose it could matter as well as, like, if you know you've pushed up and you push the enemy out and they're still respawn, then it's a good chance to just push the cart. But if you're
getting roof as a heavy though is quite good as well, because whilst your minigun only does 2 for the first second or so, it'll start doing 5 to 10 to 15 at this range. And because of that, you can just track them as they come up the stairs over here, so you can suppress on this roof as long as you don't get sniped and there's crits.
But obviously, you know, not to mention it's good for your other teammates as well, so, you know, it can be very helpful for teammates.
Once again, second point, roof is king. Once the cart gets to there and you've leveled the sentry gun and everything, you can just hop down and sort of just navigate around, let your team push while you sit up just slightly further forward about here and just tank and kill. Once again, the difficulty of third comes from this lower area and pushing out of that house area. If there's a demo man sticking up that side door, you're in trouble. One thing you can do is come out of boiler and walk around. It's reasonably effective, but once again you have to consider your slow speed. If you have an Uber, you can come round and get either to here or drop down and sort of move your way up, and the Uber will generally last long enough for you to force people out of this corner. So if there's a level 3 up there, that's on your teammates to get rid of, if we're talking in a comp sense generally. You can spray from that house area with the Uber, but the sentry gun will be hitting you at that range, I believe. And that can be quite devastating, because obviously if you're standing still, you're getting hit by the rockets, which do up to 150, but down to probably about 80-ish there. They drop off to 50 relatively quickly, so it's not too high. I can't overstate this enough. As a heavy, take a flank. Don't go through the main, because there's about 4 snipers always standing there. God damn it, that whack-a-mole switch shit. It's fucking annoying. Coming out here, and one thing you can do is literally just wait. Whilst the minigun is quite loud, people don't usually respond to sound too well. I do use it to some extent, especially with spies. I will listen for decloaks.
Yeah, usually the biggest loud noises will be level 3 sentries, people screaming, so usually the minigun archman's better than a Tommy Slav because not many people can even hear it. Like,
yeah, and the Tommy Slav loses every single heavy versus heavy fight.
It's only when you're up against it, like right next to the heavy, you can obviously hear it, but in a far away distance you can't hear it as well.
You're alright to sit around this corner and hop around. You can come around here, get the snipers out, you'll do decent damage at this range and always hit shift every now and then because you can duck mid-minigun firing for some odd reason. You can't move at all, but you can still duck.
Yeah.
I think like bending your legs is probably pretty strenuous while doing this, but...
You just smiled at me whilst doing that, that's kind of
creepy. Did I? I'm having a great time.
Happy.
I'm having a great time. So, one of the best things you can do as heavy is get up those tyres while the enemy's sort of holding here and come up behind them all and just go... And then inevitably get random crits and just killing 6 people.
Yeah.
Heavy is partially a flank class at this point. He is no longer the tank because the lock and load is fucking ridiculous now, on top of everything else.
Yeah.
You can come out of map room and drop down with an Uber on top of a sentry gun, and then same rule applies here. You can just drop on top of them. That's one of the best things to do. Is just drop on top of
usually
guns.
The best way to deal them if you're going heavy. Drop underneath.
One thing you have to keep in mind though is the further back you stand, the more time it has to acquire you, and the more time it has to push you halfway across the maps. So whatever you do while you're shooting a sentry gun, don't jump. Just don't jump, because it will just shove you up by their spawn, almost undoubtedly. The good old Angry Sock Puppet does recommend that you get your medic to block for you while you get closer, because the knockback of the sentry gun is enough to keep the heavy at bay. Yeah. And you do most damage literally at... Come here a minute. You literally most damage at this range. So I did 26, but that's because I'm firing continuously. You go and get another dead ringer charge. And then come stand behind me and I'll whip around.
Okay, I'm behind.
So I did 52, which is, it's usually about 54, and I believe it caps out at 27. So I believe the minigun nerf made it so you do half damage at whatever distance. So that's why I did 26 to start with, and then I did 52 there. That's with damage spread. You'll do between that and 28, 29, and 60 I think is the cap for minigun. And then with crits you do 120 damage per bullet, but it's literally at this range. The guy's dead before he gets that close generally anyway. Yeah. When you've been spun up for a second. It used to be constant, but nerfs and shit. Yes. Other than that, you can get up to that spawn and suppress and spawn camp. Same for the left side if you can get close enough. Generally the best thing to do is sit on the cart, keep an eye on that, the lower and the upper, and just track as you need to. Hopefully your team will be helping you out. Once the guns are down, that's your job pretty much done. Can you not? I feel bad. Now we go to your classes, because we're skipping over Texas Twit because he's been done.
Okay, hi, it's me.
To spectate!
I am your local friendly
Hold on.
In all its glory.
Remember kids, if you want to play medic in pubs, you are a masochistic bastard who likes self-suffering.
Yes.
As you go.
Enjoy. Okay, so medic for obviously if you're attacking, which we are doing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing both, kind of.
Okay, so we're kind of doing both, but obviously Uber's obviously the best viable option, you know, at this point.
To attack, yes.
Yeah, especially with Badwater. Badwater is very much engineer's near close enough good friend for, you know, sort of being able to sort of like put sentries down and whatnot. So use your routine, especially I know in like lobbies or like comp matches, the best option you've got is to go around the side, stand over this way.
One of the best things you can do is wait for spy and snipe to be dead as well.
Yeah.
You're generally come out the left side, so it's only spy.
Yeah, so it's going to be options, you know, if you hear out that spy's down, then you'll be like, right, now's our chance to move up. Down this area, it's usually like heavy or demo, whatever the hell, best to spam out.
Yeah, it's generally what class you feel most comfortable with on your particular team, or if it's a lobby, you'll either go with the heavy or the demo, depending on who wants it the most.
But this area can be very, very hard to hit down, because obviously the level 3 is going to be right in here. Pyro's going to be air blasting you off and possibly your own healing target off as well, so it can be very good, especially if you've got demo and heavy coming up with you. If your heavy goes down,
bring Pyro too.
Yeah, bring priority 2. And then
generally the way it works is, if you can coordinate it, you'll have sniper, Engie, direct hit soldier on the far right, or well, the left of your perspective currently.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're kind of looking now, straight ahead basically. That'll be sniper, soldier, and Engie. Pyro will come up cliff with you with Demo and Heavy, and obviously yourself. That's 7.
Yeah,
Spy will be sapping at the exact same time, and who else will have missed? Scout will be jacking it in a corner because he's completely useless against sentry guns. He'll actually be generally on the cart. That's rule of thumb as Scout. You'll be on the cart and trying to pick anybody who's trying to get out.
Yeah.
This is comp strictly, but
yeah, it's comp strictly. But yeah, even in pubs, people like to put themselves over here. They'll usually like to put themselves over here as well, which can be easy enough to be able to, just come round surprise and just take it all out, and it's quite easy. The only thing you have to worry about is if you've gotten to this point where you've pushed them back, snipers will start to stand there, so it's best to just sort of stand out of the way a little bit.
I'll briefly mention that if they put a sentry gun in that spot where you just mentioned there, any soldier or demo can just go up the rocks above you and just drop down death from above, which is something I do quite often. I'll generally pick either the teleporter or the engineer, because the gun takes a few rockets, the engineer takes 1 or 2.
Yeah, but anyway, so literally at this point, you're best to push them back up to second point. So usually your team will be capping it, and usually if it's a pub especially, they'll usually one lone heavy pushing the cart its way, just standing next to it. Yeah. Like we said before, so being medic is just that it's vital just getting rid of all the shit that's going to be blocking up here in the first point.
Yeah, if you get the highest of high ground, you've generally got the point locked down.
So yeah, so it's basically the lockdown. Right, so moving on to second point, if I just go into new clip. With a medic, you are most likely coming up the flank way, because again, like we're talking about with other classes, roof is very, very important. So it can, vary. Best option, like I like to do, is generally come from over here, and then go up from behind, usually to take out some sentry that's likely to be here if you've left it for too long.
3+.
If it's a pub, obviously there'll be people always set up over here, so prepare for that. Good thing about this is that I've had it many times before when I've been playing medic, is that if my healing target goes down, you've got a good area to be, if your target, say it's a scout on you or something like that, then you've got a good area to fight him against, because there's corners where he can't jump out from, especially over here.
You've got an entire backfield to play with.
You've got, basically, it's like Scout, like I said, when Scout, because he's got a good entire backfield for him to jump around and that sort of stuff, but at the same time, it's a good area for you as well to get yourself out of there. This area here is not many people are going to be here, but here is usually a good space because obviously there's going to be lots of people flying through from your team, so got a good chance. I wouldn't necessarily go through here if I've got an Uber or something that I know is going to be most useful up top.
Yeah, pushing through that area with an Uber's near enough pointless because hitting the gun from the lower area is quite difficult, and if it's firing on you, you're going to experience quite a lot of knockback as well.
I'd only possibly do this if I know for a fact that roof's already been taken, therefore we can just literally go straight into the third point.
Straight in over the barrier and onto the spawn, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. So it's at this point, not much to worry about. Generally, obviously, Pyros again will constantly try to air blast you off. Some won't, some will if it's a pub. But yeah, you'll be just fine. Really, you've got enough leisurely, area.
Get yourself a nice pocket demo, and you'll have a great time.
Yeah, exactly. So if you go on to the third point, which is this point, usually you will see dangling little legs here and here and here from away from this distance. Those are all like 3 snipers standing in a row trying to body shot you with the machinima, so they're just trying to get down below where they can see you. So best option I generally find is usually just stay here, keep healing, and if you know they're coming or something's happening, the enemy's just spewing like crap at you, there's always this stair option. Because in the stair option, you've got a good health kit, and plus it's around the side, so
you're out of sniper sightlines.
You're out of sniper,
and you can still heal over the railing.
Exactly. I don't know much about comp in terms of Badwater with medic.
Generally the way it works is soldier will go through the boiler on the left, like I previously mentioned. Demo will come through the house itself actually and spam the sentry gun out, because most demos will learn the arc of what they need to fire to get pills and sticky bombs through the window where the level 3 gun usually is. Okay. If you push this point quick enough on comp, there will not be a gun in that window that's viable to do anything unless the engineer pulls it out with a rescue ranger on second, at which point you will hunt him down like the dog he is, because he will take 122 damage from a single rocket if you hit him anywhere close to like the body.
Yeah.
Obviously with splash damage he's only going to take 60 something, but second's generally a hard hold. In my experience, second and fourth are generally the hard hold. Yeah. Third is potentially more viable. Some people will throw away, they'll give up first and then they'll throw away second because roof is not amazing because it's so close quarters, and they will let them have roof relatively easily. They'll hold it with the rest of the team, maybe with an Uber, to allow the engineer to build up on third, which is perfectly good and everything. I struggle with the sentry gun in the window, but I have sort of got better with the Wrangler recently. I've got a process video coming up where I do a bit of work with it. We still get completely shreked. Process is shit here, but there's only so much you can do as engineer.
Okay, right, going back to medic.
Yep.
Yeah. So obviously at this point, usually if it's like a pub that we're talking, you know, I tend to obviously come down this area. Sometimes I go up here, but like I said before, obviously it's just, you know, you don't know what the fuck's going to be around the corner. Even that, you don't even know what's up over here. Sticky's probably likely. Who knows? Not a very good idea to come out from this area because obviously snipers will be around about next to those like pipes. So
yeah, other classes worry about that less.
Yeah,
because...
so you know, generally you want to be pushing the cart because here, especially, snipers can't get much of a good aim on you unless they're, you know, if you come out down over to this area, which means, you know, you're now at the mercy of like pipes like coming down, hitting you in this area.
Yeah, when you're in that area, you're committed to the bit pretty much. If you're going in without an Uber down there, you're kind of risking.
Usually in like a pub circumstances, there'll usually be even level 3s here, if not in here. You know, they're just hiding around the corner because little tiny baby engineers with gibbuses on don't understand that, you know, don't know many of the great spots.
And the window spot needs team support as well. If you don't have a Pyro up there, it's relatively easy to take down with a... Generally, most pubs will have either a decent Pyro or a decent demo in them. Not a decent Pyro, sorry, a decent soldier or a decent demo. So they will come through boiler and level that sentry gun pretty easily, generally, because you'll have no team support.
Yeah, so... But either way, it's quite easy with third to cap, especially at this point. You want to stay, if say the cart's like just about to be pushed, you want to stay around about this distance, because even then, you don't even know what's coming around the corner, there could be anything.
Yeah, let your team take the brunt of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're just here for the healings and whatnot, but do watch yourself, especially because I've never really done like this much as medic, coming up this way and then dropping down. So, but the best idea is once you've gotten to this point, taking into a flank of either left or right. I would mainly say left because you can help out your team.
You don't see guns on the map room all that often anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But if you do come into the map room, expect there to be a level 3 sentry like over here. So even if you're trying to Uber out, there'll be no specific way because obviously your target, you'll just get pushed back, and obviously your team will be like trying to push you back and all that sort of stuff. Probably best not to let them know that even if you're Ubering from here, especially, everyone will see you in the clear that you've got an Uber.
If you're with a heavy, it's going to take a long while to get down there as well.
Yeah, exactly. So the best option to go through is through tires. Again, heal up and get your Uber going up. You obviously can't make it up here unless you've got the quick fix on. Quick fix I don't generally do if it's on offense. I usually use it on defense just for the lols.
It's generally best on Koth because you can still cap points with it. Although quick fix does work on Bomblets last to some extent.
Yeah. At this point, your best option to using your Uber would be to jump down, or surprise them with it at this point coming from over here, because obviously it's a very short range you've got to run up and get yourself into a position where you can Uber and clear out, as it were.
If you want to play it super safe, because if you go to tires, you are crossing a sniper's sight line technically. You can go into the upper area that you previously mentioned, dropping down on top of the sentry guns that are usually like in the little nestled area before the map room. Up top and to your right, go through map room to turn around. So the sentry guns that are through that wall there, basically, behind you.
Yeah.
Turn around. Go through there. Yeah, the sentry guns that are there. If you don't want to cross the sniper sight line, because MLG quickscopes with his 250,000 kill or 2,500 kills on his sniper rifle. Not joking, I've actually seen that on a sniper rifle, it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
If he's standing there and waiting, you can go up to your left now.
Yeah.
Go up there and walk around and drop down and you'll completely avoid it.
Yeah.
Well, you build up
so it's all about the flanking maneuvers with medic, obviously, so at this point, it's a good area to Uber from either down here or, like Chuck said, obviously over here. You can even just bypass it all. Do be careful, if you've gotten yourself into this area, you need to know that you need to get out, because you cannot stay here generally, unless you know that your team is completely rolling the other team. But if you've Ubered, it's the best opportunity that the second that it's down, start backing up.
Yeah,
because
get up the cart track, don't get boxed in there.
Because, like I said, if you're going up this way, it's not exactly the best option, and there are many, better classes.
It's not a bad escape, but you are walking towards enemies while your Ubers run out, because they will spawn in the lower area.
So the best option is to back up, and even at that point, you want to make sure you're careful of the sniper zones, like over there, and obviously over here, that sort of stuff. That's generally medic. I don't know, do you want to add anything else about medic?
The longer you stay alive, the more frustrated the enemy team will get, and the more medics they are likely to get, so...
Yeah.
Keep in mind you may start seeing crit screeks coming your way. Best thing you can do is try and predict that and don't get close to corners.
Yeah, exactly.
Sniper then, I guess.
Yes, let's move on to the Sniper Man of Sniper Land.
Dying a wall.
Died. Yeah.
Just like a hand like moving up towards the... Oh my god. Alright.
Archimedes is freaking the fuck out. So yes, this is Sniper Man. So he is Sniper. Are you there, Chuck?
What?
Are you there?
Yes, go.
Yeah, I'm just making sure you're present.
Yes.
So Sniper at this point, best option, if it's a pub especially, it's you've got this whole area.
You will end up with the wall of It's Like Christmas Morning then.
Yeah,
just basically standing up there, and you'll have 3 of these with you in here.
Yeah, so usually you want to take out the targets down here quite quickly. And then once you've done that, I like to generally just camp over this whole area over here, this back area over here, because once you've done that, you've also got, if you're lucky enough, you can shoot some heads that are like crowding over here or whatnot. But you've also got a wider area now, so you've got the whole area, like the valley area, where you can like be able to snipe people, and then coming around over here, bigger area, bigger portion. At this point, you'll usually see the level 3 up, unless your team's taking it down. Even then, with a full charge shot, you can do some damage, but you want to generally take out that engineer, because the level 3 won't reach you from here, I don't think.
If the engineer's worth his salt, he will start shoving rockets down your throat, but that's unlikely.
Yeah, and he's obviously got a Wrangler equipped, which is why the Wrangler's very good for this area, so do be warned of that.
Yeah. You can, if you turn to your, see that rock there to your left now? No, left. Left.
Yeah,
that one.
My left.
Go towards it. And stand about there. If you go to your right now and try and snipe the sentry gun, you can edge your way out towards it. You can just see it there, and you can sort of exploit the fact that that's around 2 rocks near enough. Yeah. And the engineer will have a hard time hitting you at that point.
Yeah.
That's my phone being charged, cool. Yeah, it's edging the sentry gun is the best thing to do in comp. They will generally do it from that rock where I just briefly mentioned.
Yeah, don't forget as well that this area is quite good for defense scouts, so do watch yourself if you're pushing up ahead, that scouts will be on your ass, especially if you've got into this part here where they've got this whole back area to just run around and be lol, I'm funny. Little shits, basically. But it's very vital as well, especially if you're ignoring this part and you've like taken it all down and that sort of stuff, then you've got, good sniping area. That's your next sight line. That's your next sight line to go through, because you've got this whole area where generally some people will be pouring out from. Snipers will always be lining up over here as well, especially. Usually if I'm playing sniper, I don't, I know roof can be very good, but at that point, what am I supposed to do if I'm face to face with a level 3 sentry? I'd only go up there if I know for a fact that it's all down.
And even then, it's of questionable use, because the third point snipers will already be backed up all the way to that corner near enough.
Yeah. So generally you can take them down here, because then if you've done that, if they haven't even got a teleporter up, then they've kind of like blockaded themselves off, where you're just down.
Yeah, that's why roof's generally considered to be somewhat of a soft hold. Getting out of there is quite difficult if you get sandwiched in between. Let's say demo goes up roof. Let's say soldier, pyro, engineer with a mini sentry, and sniper are all in this like drop down area where you're at the moment, and heavy demo and medic and pyro all come up roof. You are fucking boxed in.
Yeah,
there's no way out.
So there's no way going out. But generally at this point, it's because once you've done that, then you come down over to here into the third point where it's you've gotten a good valley area where directly straight down, so you can shoot down over here. You can get to some areas that people that can be standing up over there.
Yeah, heavies will occasionally stand in that house to sort of chip away at people and wait for another crit.
Again, like I said, you will usually see legs, so you can just body shot legs if you feel really shitty, but you can just do that, viable option to do.
Body shots, it's still a kill, blah blah.
Body shots, also especially if you know that enemies are behind you, like say a scout or a spy, then you've got a good clear advantage to seeing if they're over by. And I have done this before. I've managed to I think I body shot a spy who was just trying to run for that health kit over there. Just because I could see him obviously going that way. So you've got a good area to clear out, because the nearest health kit for them away from enemies would be there. Apart from obviously there's our respawn.
The one right at the back of the map.
Yeah, exactly.
Past the roof.
Yeah.
Those are the only two viable ones other than the smalls on the roof.
Yeah, so if I quickly new clip, boop, into here, this area is very much, you know, a good sniping ground, because not only are you covering pipe area, you're also covering up here a little bit, and if you can just nudge yourself a little bit, you can just about...
You can hit the engineer from there. I have been killed from that spot before, and the Wrangler has quite a hard time hitting people, especially if the gun's only level 2.
And then not to mention as well, if you nudge it, you can just get
Ew,
people
gross.
just standing over here. What?
Crouch.
Crouching.
Okay, uncrouch. There you go. It's like vibrating weirdly when you're standing there.
Oh dear, sorry. But yeah, this area is just, it's a good sight line to get through, and it's just generally how to deal with them.
If you're a decent sniper though, if boiler's getting spammed out a lot, you can stand in the lower area and sort of just harass generally and get quick headshots off on the demos and stuff like that. So if you just drop down below the house, in that area, and turn around behind you, just where you can sort of just drop down into this area and sort of nudge around this corner. If you go back a bit, see that wall, you can use that as cover to some extent.
Yeah.
So just peek it.
I suppose, but obviously
not a great spot, but boiler's better.
Yeah, obviously boiler's better because obviously you're elevated, so you've got an easier area to look through.
You do have to watch for soldiers and other such classes jumping the other way from that upper area.
Exactly. So at this point, if there is a fight still going on, best option is to just whip round into here and then
use the crates.
You can either snipe from here or you can snipe from above, which I like to do from over here because obviously you've still got this coverage area of a really far area. Only thing that's going to do most damage to you is obviously another sniper. But you know, there's not much usually of a push here happening unless you are trying to cap for last point and you've been pushed back.
The enemy team's pushed forward,
Yeah, and this is the part where you've been pushed back to. This is a great vital area to get to. Just grab myself quickly. And then obviously over here you can push up a little bit. You've got a little bit of a nudging area to see in the last area about there, but still then again, not viable. Like we've said before.
Hashtag the pipes of justice. Trust me, these things are fucking amazing. People don't check here.
Yeah.
I generally go on the one below it.
Yeah.
Because you can see over them if you just use the first one.
Shit.
Goddamn spray takes brutal.
Yeah.
You're just like vibrating like crazy.
Oh, sorry.
When you're jumping up anything.
But yeah, anyway. So pipes can be very good. You can just stand here as well, but obviously there'll be snipers galore over here because obviously you can see a good distance area.
They can use the right and the left over there as cover whilst you're just completely exposed.
There's only really much of a good one reason in particular to use down over the tiles, which is this area, because this window is actually like broken out, which I didn't even realise when I first started playing the game. I didn't realise that this one was free, so you could literally snipe through it.
I don't quite understand how 50 cal rounds, which I'm assuming is what you're firing, well they're not, I don't think. I think they're smaller than that, don't go through glass. But
yeah, but still.
That's balancing probably.
Yeah,
they'd rather not put 3 wood panels in than just an open window.
Yeah, exactly. But this can be a good area, especially with this. You've got a good ground area. You won't be able to hit the necessary targets like the sentry and stuff like that, but you can hit scranglers like soldiers, demo men, anything that's just hiding out their way. Be careful, obviously. Snipers can still see you from here, and obviously over there as well. So just be very, this area is a good area, but just remind yourself.
Also, watch out behind you.
Yes, you watch yourself for backstab.
Well, not backstab anybody. Anybody who will walk up behind you if your team isn't holding tires.
Even so, but if you manage to just flank round them and they're just all over there, you can just stand here and get some decent ones. More so if you've got the mission ammo, because then you can line up and get some good ones. But it's generally like if you push that far, then your team's like, fucking, what the fuck are they doing, basically. But you don't want to go any further than generally this line, I find, if you're playing sniper. Never go any too far than that, because you want to stay over here. Good wide area and range. Usually I'd only cross the area if I know for a fact we're all pushing the car. Let's go.
The only time I ever go down there is when I have the Huntsman and Gerard.
Yeah, if I know for a fact that it's time to push up. But generally you just want to stay stealth. Click back, sit back, and shoot some.
Pick off stragglers and stuff. The lower spawn is up for your team to deal with because they start on a ramp down below, and then you've just got the left and the right to deal with.
Yeah.
Also, map room.
Yes, and then there's this map room over here.
There's a bit of viability of standing in that window and picking off the snipers on that left side.
There is a little bit, but don't forget level 3. So if you're trying to snipe from down over here, sniping from up there can be difficult because obviously sometimes
you can stand away from the window though and pick off those snipers. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But you've just got to watch people coming over the railing and just two-shotting you with whatever weapon of choice.
It is a bit bullshit, but I generally just like to stick back and sit back and enjoy. Right, I'm gonna anything else to add?
Spy.
Sniper.
Spy.
It's time. It's time, gentlemen. Right.
You ready for 30 minutes of how to do stair stabs?
Yeah, of course. So with Spy, let's have a think. So with Spy, usually best option to go through is from over this direction, which is over here, which I like to do.
Shall I briefly mention something?
Go for it.
Dead ringer cheese! If you disguise as the same class, or as the same team, and you have the dead ringer out, you can push the car! Whilst just sitting there with the dead ringer out, and just cheese it into that tunnel if you're taking so much spam.
Yeah, okay.
The only time that's ever going to fail is when people on the red team are literally sitting on the cart, which is, what the fuck are your team doing? You might as well quit the server, because if you're being spawn camped that hard, GG, you need to go medic, maybe.
But anyway, so usually at this point, you can use virtually most Invisiwatch or dead ringers, generally the viable best options you got. If you've been hit with the dead ringer, you can just quickly come over here and then undead ringer. People won't even hear it at this point, and you've got usually in pubs this whole area will be free.
Yeah, I go down the tunnel with the Invis-Watch. That's my fucking first route.
Yeah, so once you've done that, you are literally behind enemy lines, so you can start picking off. Best option viable is trying to get yourself up here and then sapping, but I'd recommend obviously waiting until your team calls it, especially if it's a comp match. Wait until your team calls
it's
out,
not easy getting up
sap,
those stairs.
It's definitely
unless the
not.
Pyro's dead.
Yeah,
and even
it's very,
then.
very, very hard to get up yourself up
I
there.
was playing the Badwater lobby with the 11 minutes, and I killed a spy walking up the stairs while I was wrangling and shooting the snipers down below behind you. I just hit him by mistake. I hit him with rockets and just did 138, and it's just like snuffed out, done.
Yeah, playing Spy can be really, really difficult, and I feel really bad for him sometimes because it's like, oh yeah, so many counters, so many like near to impossible things for you to pull off.
It's like heavy.
It is, and it's really horrible. But either way, if you've got Invisiwatch, it's best, like, there will be usually this back here, where you can be able to, you know...
yeah, I purposely checked that spot recently.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people obviously check this spot for a good reason. You know, it's best to get there, and then you can just stab, do all this shit. But just to help your team out in general. Playing for Spy, if just for a pub, for a lols, snipers will always be lining up here. You can easily quickly revolve them. Or,
if you stand a bit further back, you can use the rock to your right as cover from the sentry gun.
Yeah, over here.
Well, no, that rock there.
Well, this one.
Yeah, it won't.
Yeah,
sentry
well,
gun.
no, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the sentries that are going to be over here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, yeah, but no, because like I said, sometimes also be obviously over here. But at this point, you know, just sap away, do what you want. Watch out for pyros, all that jazz. You've also got an area to retreat to. If you feel even more like a dick, you can just run yourself all the way behind enemy lines and then go after their teleporters. Yeah. And then be an
if you want to piss me off to no end, go do that.
Go do that, even if it is like soldier or demo man or whatever.
And
you know.
if you've got time to do it, don't shoot it, because you lose blowing up the other end of it. And an exit left behind can be limited effectiveness, but there has been a time where I left an exit on first and no one noticed it.
Yeah.
And same for the Badwater offense. Someone left a teleport, like the entire comp team left the fucking teleporter on the health kit there. And I'm just like, we left a teleporter behind us. That's not a good idea. So I just sat there and shotgunned it for a minute or two. Wow. And I got the dispenser as well, which was completely pointless, but I wanted the points anyway.
Anyway, so oh shit. So obviously second point over here. Best option to go through again, roof. In this area over here, need to be, you know, if you're using the Invisiwatch, you can sometimes get over here. Obviously, remind yourself that these stairs are very linear, so you can bump into people left, right, and centre. Oops. So using the Invisiwatch, just using Spy in general is always just make sure you're reminding yourself of obstacles in the way and using them to your advantage. Like standing here is a very, very good area. Crouching.
I've never seen you there.
You've never seen me here, really?
No. Well, I don't die. Well, if I'm dead, I don't usually find you that often because it's on blue.
I just failed fucking miserably right there because you were fucking talking, but whatever.
We're on blue, aren't we? So it's respawn time's like 2 seconds. So.
Yeah, so you can even just make it here, and you can just cloak and dagger and wait for people, or just Invisiwatch and wait until it comes, because most people won't even be able to see you from this point, because the barrels are obviously over here. But helping out the roof, getting it down, sapping, whatever, because usually you'll see some people over here of some description. Sometimes there'll obviously be snipers down over there. You can just,
if you're not like super confident as Spy, you can sit on the other side of that air duct and jump and sap the teleporter on top of it.
Yeah. But if you're like me and decent with the aim, you can at least damage some people, especially at this point if they're trying to do just be pesky and all that sort of stuff, get your attention. At this point, I just like to jump down, and then, you know, you can just run up behind. If they still haven't capped it, and they're still, like, trying to retreat and stuff like that, you can get behind them before they can even start thinking so. And there you go, you've got a good opportunity to start attacking here from this distance, and taking that shit down. Usually, if we can no-clip into third point over here, usually I would like to go left side. Left side's pretty good, pretty cool, awesome place to be in, I suppose. Problem being with that is obviously you need to remember yourself that some people, even like soldiers and whatnot,
You'll have a Pyro sitting to your right now in that corner.
Yeah, but as long as your aim is decent, which I can't stress enough, please use your revolver, even if it is the Letrange, which I have started to kind of enjoyed, because, I don't know, I'm good with
Dead
my
Ringer!
aim. No, but it's more the fact that I'm good with my aim, so I can just, even if it's got a
Dead
damage
Ringer?
even with a damage, I don't fucking use it all the time, shut up. Even with a damage penalty, you know, I can still shoot them down with good ease, and even then I get random crits sometimes with Letrange, which is fucking hilarious.
And then you'll go back to using the revolver and you'll be like, holy shit, why am I hitting so hard?
Holy god damn it.
I 3-shot someone, what the fuck?
Yeah. If you're like me and you enjoy the Dead Ringer, usually you can just you can usually jump yourself down over here. So if I just quickly no-clip very quickly, if I know for a fact there are enemies around and they will know that I like to just jump down, get a jump, just jump for it, and then off a pop. And you've got enough charge of yourself just to get yourself up here out of the way. So even if they might hear it from here, you won't start decloaking until you're around about this area. So even then, they won't probably see you.
Just a brief mention of comp, third point. You will have bad time, because Dispenser will be sitting
dispenser right here. Exactly.
And there is literally no way up into this loft area for you unless you get punted by a Crockett or something, or if you surf off a pipe or something ridiculous.
Yeah, so it can be a bit bad, or if you can just use the dispenser for your range.
Yeah, you can use it as a refill, especially with the Invis Watch.
And if you've got a good refill amount, you can just jump yourself over here, out of the way.
And that's where the heavy and metal
start luring people. Badwater's very good for trick stabbing. I've come across this area over here where, you know, we were talking about Demo Man spam. I've managed to lure 3 people that have been standing in here, and all of them have been corner stabbed one after another with the eternal reward, and it is just insane the amount that you can do, because it's such a blind spot that you're hitting from, and you're getting in. It's so easy to get them.
The stair area back on second point.
Yeah.
The double set of stairs.
The double set of stairs.
Just where he's looking now.
Yeah, the ones
you can do it there because it's 2 of those corners.
It's massively blind, and there's also a lot of upward areas.
Yeah, slight slants.
The pun. So you can jump off, stair stab, do whatever the hell, you know, you can do what you want with this.
You can use the damn railings back there as stair stab material if you're decent.
Yeah,
which I think you've probably done a couple of times.
Also, it's actually I've done it one time in comp match where I was defending, and I've managed to just literally jump down here, engineer walking over here, put a mini sentry down. I've stabbed him, I've stabbed his stuff, you know, because it's a blind leap of faith. But if you know for a fact that there are people coming out from here, which you can see from the window alone,
if your team's got house still and they're trying to push the lower area, A, they're going to be running into a sentry, and B, you've got the entire area to just drop on their heads.
Yeah, exactly. So you're in a good position for if you can see out through the window or throughout the gate, you can just see that they're going to probably continue on.
Well, the gate's not there, but...
Yeah, but still. So you can just get them down here and stab away. Tires, I prefer more so the map room. A lot of times I use like map room because obviously if you've got the Dead Ring or the Invisible Watch, you can just jump out those windows.
Take note of the fact there is a ridiculous amount of large packs on this map. You can, if you, I bet if you had the Letrange on, you could literally walk this entire map cloaked.
Probably.
And maybe even without them. No, I don't think you could get away from the end of first point, could you? Because there's no packs.
No.
All the way until you get up to the upper cliff area. You could probably walk the entire map cloaked with the Letrange though.
Yeah.
It's that ridiculous.
But no, usually if like we've capped the point, I'll usually take the left-hand side because at the tires point you've got a good area, especially for even doing more trick stabbing and stuff like that. Actually, I haven't talked about this, but also obviously you got up there, so you can just go on all the way up here. Because usually what happens at third point is, like I said, if this wasn't a comp match, it's just pub, I'll come up over here. Then once I know for a fact we're getting along well, I will come over here and then drop down, and then I've got an easy way to just scuttle in through here and be sneaky. especially at this point here, you've got a very good wide area, because this area here is another blind spot for people just to run through and you just get stabbed. And if that fails, you've got another point where you can just stair stab backwards or forehand, you know. You're in a good position to do all those...
Potato internet.
Yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, especially here, this is a very good area that I find myself dueling with a lot of players with my revolver. So it's good revolver aim, especially here. I can't stress it enough, especially if you're learning with the ambassador. Okay, so like I was saying, obviously, like it's just ridiculously good because it's a level area most of the time. Not many health packs around, obviously, but that's just what comes with it. Is the fact that you can the ability, if you've got the ambassador, you can do some good damage.
I'd say that small packs benefit squishier classes better.
Yeah, especially if you're like me, who gets set on fire a lot.
Yeah. It's probably a percentage shot somewhere.
Yeah, any amount of health. So even small ones are very, very valuable for putting you out to get rid of that ridiculous. Was it 60 damage over? Like,
60 damage. The flare without critting does 90 because it does 30 damage on contact.
It's fucking ridiculous. Just thinking about it just makes me want to just kill over.
He was gonna get a flame retardant suit, but it's cut. It's cut.
Anyway,
you got the spice cut at least.
My rage.
You got the spice cut at least.
Oh yeah, and then people are like, "Oh my god, why are you using this spicy toy? So overpowered." Yeah. Anyway, but at this point, usually level 3s can be over here, so the back area is very good for obviously getting yourself away from the enemies. Because obviously, when you've got the back area, you've got a good chunk of an area to just run away from all that sort of stuff. You can just hide.
If you are rather good at rocket jumping and stuff like that, and surfing mainly. If you get hit by a demo or a soldier here, you can get into the stairwell behind you. Yeah, we've put some genius in a lobby I was playing, put a heavy up there with a rocket. I don't know. I don't know if it was a rocket or a pipe or what, but they put a heavy up in the fucking stairwell, and the medic overhealed him, and he just walked down and completely shreked our entire team.
That was That's
I don't know who did it, but
one of you guys out there, fuck you. But especially like here. Good place to sort of hold yourself, you know, get you in busy watch, wait for people to walk past, either go after them or just fake after them and just go running over here. This area is pretty good, you know, an area to get around. There's a small health kit here to benefit you, but if you've got Dead Ringer, just usually like to dump around and usually hide around this area.
People don't use that. People don't use this large. I don't understand why not. Probably because it's around a blind corner and most people don't know it exists.
So this point here is very, very good, because at this point, this is what I do. I will wait until my cloak comes back, because most buys will just run back out again. I'm like, why would you do that? You've not got a Dead Ringer charge waiting for you, so you want to specifically wait until you've got a good amount of time.
If you want to be a little shit, crouch in the corner and try and ambu-snipe the engineer.
Well, try not to, though, as well, because obviously... You
do get a lot of attention, but you will do decent damage to him.
You do 102 damage, but that's about meh. It's only if you know for a fact that you can...
Yeah, if you've got very good aim. Yeah, that pack is incredible on both offense and defense, because people don't check it. Me and you sat in there as a heavy med combo and waited for you to... I think we had about 80% Uber or something like that. Or you Uber sword someone to 75%, didn't you? And then we sat in there until you were fully charged.
We just waited. And
yeah. Because I was taking damage at the time, so it was building at normal rate.
It's a ridiculous spot to obviously get around.
Yeah. If you get in there with a black box, you're in for a great time.
Yeah. Good area to come to is up here, especially because you can just invisibly watch over here, Dead Ringer over here. Excuse me. I used to hide in here a lot of the time. I remember when I was my little bee.
God damn that face.
But no, I used to hide like underneath the stairs a lot of the time, or just around this area. Because once obviously this point gets down, not much use of it apart from going up over here to hit out the map room area.
And people will generally lurk on that railing and wait for people to come into there, because once you're down there, you can't get back if you're a pyro or something, which means you can just backstab people.
Yeah, I used to remember a demo man used to hide there all the time, and he would just get the ambassador out and just used to literally just go round the corner and just shoot him, and I was on offense, and I was like, wow. But it's just, jumping down here is obviously a good way, because once you jump down, you're leading into your teammates, which should be, if you're here, your teammates should be around about there, pushing through at least. So if you jump yourself down over there, the people that are probably either chasing like a pyro, they're running themselves into your fire, and their only way of escaping is jumping back down through there. So they know they're going on a suicide mission if they're going after you, basically. That is unless your teammates are there to help, obviously. Spy does not get much love anyway. Sniff, sniff.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Enjoy your 3 cosmetics you got in 2014 and quit your bitching.
Oh yes, enjoy.
Well, Pyro got his 45.
Yep, enjoyable. I'm just trying to think what else. Ambassador usually can be quite good on this map, but I prefer using it on something like Barn Blitz or Upward, where there's more of the spacious areas. I know Badwater has its spacious areas, but I prefer...
After first point, it is kind of choky.
Yeah, so I prefer sticking with just my regular revolver, if not any other revolver minus the Ambassador, because I prefer using the Ambassador in case of... It's more of a sense of the fact that I know they're at a distance where I can still headshot them, but they're not right in my face. Because if they're right in my face, and I want to do max damage that I possibly can as spy with the revolver. So in the sense of that, use just the stock. And I can't really spend most of my time, I don't know, body shot or trying to headshot them if I'm trying to, you know, do all this shit at the same time. I don't know. But that's the Ambassador in general.
I'm just going to add basically, other than the usual sort of stock loadouts such as Medigun, Kritzkrieg, and you mentioned with Spy, basically any normal weapon that's regularly used will work on this map to some extent because there's viability to everything. Criticola's fine, bonk, all that sort of thing, you know, anything that makes you jump better because there's plenty of spots that Scout can't reach with 2 but can with 3 or with 5. Beggars is fantastic on this because of all the chokes. As much as I hate recommending that, Conch goes double the same. Battalion's backup is incredibly underrated and amazing, but takes far too long to charge. If it was 400, it would be... I don't know, maybe at 500 it'd be good. Or maybe at 400, I don't know. I don't want it to become another Conch. Become so fucking obnoxious, I want to kill anybody who uses it. Pyro, all flamethrowers, all secondaries, fine. Pretty much.
Especially with a flog.
Here,
if you just hide around this corner, then you've got this whole area where you're going to push everyone back, so flog is...
Yeah, if you can get a flog charge on that corner and then run into everybody, you're going to fucking melt.
I'm a Pyro. I am Pyro. Oh.
Small packs become ridiculously good with the back scratcher, and there are a few mediums, so that's nearly a full health, but nobody ever uses back scratcher because movement speed is king. Sword and board is fine on this. It's somewhat limiting though because of all the sentry guns, but if you're on defense, plenty of viability due to the fact that now Pills one-shot mini-sentries again, I'm not complaining because it always one-shots in comp because damage spreads off. What else we got? Heavy, all miniguns are viable, but basically every single one of them is a straight downgrade at this point.
Yeah, just
because
stuff on.
you need to fucking fix miniguns. Natasha has 300 bullets though, yay. Texas Twit, Eureka Effect is viable on defense, but you are sacrificing the ability to hold last if you want to do anything fancy with that. Generally the trick to that is build in the back area and get it on roof when they are on last, and be a dick.
Yeah. I forgot to obviously mention about this area over here, because most spies, as people would know, is that, you know, again, it's just baiting the enemy in, lure them into a false sense of the fact that, you know, you've got nowhere to run. Coming up over here, you've got 1, 2, 3...
And you can even jump off from the top and just sort of do a weird sort of air strafe into them.
So that's what I'm saying. So this is the first viable option for a stair stab, second viable option stair stab, third viable option for a stair stab, and fourth viable stair. You know, a stair stab does not mean stairs in general. It just means an elevated area where you can jump higher than the enemy and be able to get behind them and
And a fifth one where you come down the middle and just land on one of the second sets of stairs. So you just jump down there and sort of kind of surf around a bit.
Yeah, so you've got a good area, this area, but anyway.
What do we got? Medic, feel free to use whatever medigun you like, you know, vaccinators can work on this, we've had limited effectiveness with it. Best thing to do with that is bullet resistance, because the sentry's damage generally comes from bullets, but getting hit by the rockets will still hurt. Quick fix is fine if there's only one sentry gun and not much to focus fire, but the sentry guns do quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, so...
crits on defense I highly recommend, because you will out-uber people and you can wipe entire teams as demo. Soldier's less effective due to the fact. Go on.
If you are on defense, offense, especially at this point, if you're using Kritzkrieg, usually you won't find a sentry until here.
Yeah, and even then it's probably a
mini.
mini.
Everywhere over here, so yeah, you've got a good distance for using Kritzkrieg, so it's a very Kritzkrieg-y match if you're on defense. So.
Crossbow, Bloodsaga, syringe gun, all fine. Overdose I can never really recommend because it's negligible. It's basically a syringe gun in disguise. I find the Bloodsaga to be better.
Yeah, you either want to use the Crusader's crossbow or the Overdose if you're on like 6s or something like that, but even then you want to use the Crusader's crossbow generally.
Yeah, Crusader's crossbow is too good to not use generally.
Yeah.
And spy and sniper, pick whatever you like if you want to use the bizarre bargain and your aimbot and go nuts. Jurati and Razorback are obviously both viable, adjust as needed. Darwin's Dane Shield if you want to be a cunt. Same goes with Thompson with Engineer. Because of the ridiculous hitbox and the fact that these are choky maps, Thompson's quite good.
Yeah.
Huntsman's fine, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Like I said, obviously with Spy, stock revolver I prefer more so at this point.
As previously mentioned.
But feel free to use mostly anything apart from obviously the big earner. Don't use the big earner.
It's bad.
I wish I loved the big earner. It's a good looking knife, but it's just a terrible, horrible
weapon
piece
that needs
of
a buff.
crap
Yeah.
That needs a buff badly, but it's just I don't know. But either way, kunai, pretty alright.
Would you find with it taking, let's say, 10 health, so you can actually survive one rocket without the dead ringer?
Sandman basically, 110 health, so you've got
15 then.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But even then, kunai is fine, diamondback's fine. Usually, if you want to use that, do them in both. Kunai and diamondback, then you get.
You've got the advantage of gun spy properly done.
Enforcer if you really want to must. Spicicle and Enforcer if you want to be a complete douchebag.
Don't forget your red tape.
Don't forget red tape being top of that, and dead ringer. And you're gonna be an absolute asshole.
Who doesn't die? Yay.
Yay. But no, everything for Spy is pretty available at this point, apart from Big Earner, which will never be. Especially with the Latronje, because obviously the Latronje you've got a good area to run around, and there's a lot of big ammo packs at this point on the last, so
Yeah, if you the thing with the Latronje is that you can sit on a large ammo pack and constantly refill. I've done it on Upward First when my team's so far forward and stuff like that. I think it was Upward First and they were pushing on to second. I was just sitting on the large pack on the right, just waiting. Because I felt like waiting, and I think they had medics and stuff, and I was just sort of donging about. I like being invisible all the time. He liked jumping around corners and throwing bodies everywhere.
I like to kill things.
No, I like to pick. I like to pick very selectively and then fucking hide for 3 minutes.
I need to pick my special fucking I'm hoity-toity when fucking actuality you need to get out there and do something.
Alright, shut up. I'm gonna add this on at the end. Actually, I might put this at the start. I'm going to cut this in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to re-edit this so this next bit comes at the start and this is the very end of the video. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this hour and a half, which is literally what it's going to come up to at this point.
God.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. We said the next one was going to be shorter. We lied. Well, do you want to say anything?
I love you, all of you.
That's gross. Don't forget 420 blaze it. Do a barrel roll, etc. Alright, is that it?
Yeah. We want to take a photo.
Do it? Yeah, we do. I'll do that in a minute, but I'm gonna do the end. I'm gonna do the beginning now.
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's take a selfie.
No, not yet. Alright, thanks for watching, goodbye.